Hello, everybody, and welcome to Hair of the Dogcast, your favorite Dogcast podcast about not dogs, beer and video games and beer. Although we did get a new dog in our Discord family.
We did.
Copper. I hope he's listening.
Cooper
Hey,
or Copper?
Copper.
Oh, God, I almost fucked that up.
Man,
I'm sure Copper would have been very upset.
egg all over your face.
He could do an episode about dogs at some point. It
true.
would be the best dogs in games. What should be probably the final Dogcast in 10 years.
So just dog meat? Dog meat number one?
There's so many dogs
I
in
know,
games.
but dog meat's the first one I thought of.
There are a lot of good dogs.
There are some good dogs.
Ones that I like better.
Nintendogs.
Yeah,
I have not fed that motherfucker in so long.
He's dead.
Shit.
You killed it.
maybe not dead, just starving perpetually.
My name's Brad.
My name's Dylan.
My name's Tyler.
And I'm Madam Web.
That's a really bad impression of Madam Web, and if she heard you,
That's a good
if
impression
she
of
heard-
a bad. That's a good impression of a bad impression of
If
Madam
she
Web.
heard you, if she heard you out there,
In the multiverse.
as we know, her web encapsulates many places, and she can hear it.
I'm going to cut the lips and eyes off of this poster and then hold it up to my face and talk through it.
Okay.
Sorry, there's a Madam Web poster. If you're listening, we always have a Madam Web poster on our table.
It's no
for
shit.
fun.
It's been there for months now.
Whatever gets you hot.
Yeah, it's been
I
since
should
February.
I need to have Tyler, you sign the Hamburglar, and Dylan, I need you to sign the Madam Web poster at some point.
I will. Should I sign it as Madam Web?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Duh.
She'll flow through me, the power.
Her signature is worth more than yours.
Oh, man, I got to come up with a good one.
What are we doing today?
We got some news. We got some console critters, and then we're going to talk about some beloved bombs.
Beloved bombs.
That's your rundown of the episode.
Okay. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah. See you next time. News.
Baby. It's
First,
the news.
Got a little bit of local Milwaukee news and beer-related news.
Wowie.
Company Brewing has closed its doors after 9 years.
Wow.
Which is kind of crazy because it was a very abrupt closure. But I know a lot of people that worked there, and I drank a lot of their beer for quite a bit. So that's kind of sad.
I'm going to go ahead and say I'm not going to miss their beer too much.
I'm going to miss a few of them.
I like their beer.
Yeah. I should have told my brother to snag some Lordy and some Space Whistle on his way out.
Space Whistle.
Oh, I like Lordy a lot.
Yeah, it's good beer.
Great can design, too.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about any of the closure stuff?
Like, well,
Because your brother told me that a lot of the people are taking it too hard.
a lot of people are taking it very hard, yes.
There was a person
In what
on
way?
all of like the social media posts. They're like, "Oh, my wedding was supposed to be there in 3 weeks." Man, I hope we don't get in trouble. Yeah, she
I
didn't
don't think so.
She
It's
didn't
not
have
slanderous.
She didn't have any deposit down. Like she had no money in the venue to use the space.
Well, that's good. At least she didn't lose any money. But yeah, she posted that on the Instagram.
And then that fucking steamrolled, and a lot of employees didn't know what was happening.
There's a couple Reddit posts that I saw in the Milwaukee subreddit about it.
I think the biggest heartbreak besides the employees is the fact that there's a lot of bands scheduled to play and album release parties. Like, it's a bummer to do it so abruptly, but
Places have been closing really quickly. I work a job where I go to a lot of businesses, and places are just shuttering left and right.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a trend, but people are moving out, moving away, packing up for good. I honestly, my route has shrank quite a bit.
Yeah, it's a rough time for the brewery industry.
it's a rough time for the games industry.
It's a rough time in general. Shit's expensive out there.
Sure. I'm doing all right.
Inflation's a bitch.
I'm doing all right. I can still afford a potato. That's all I eat.
And a PSVR 2.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You're
You can buy a
thriving.
lot of potatoes with that.
You could buy a lot of fucking potatoes
Yeah.
with that.
Let's just say
Probably a
there's-
whole pallet.
Yeah.
Do you think do they have lawn mowing simulator on PSVR? Because I would get one for that.
They don't have it on PSVR 2. No.
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
Missed opportunity there. I played the shit out of that game.
Yeah.
And then I know we're going to talk about it in Elden Dogs, but we did get a story release trailer for Shadow of the Erdtree. Mm-hmm. And
We did.
Do we want to talk about it now, or we want to talk about it later? Because it was pretty awesome.
We can talk about it later. Part of me is the more I see these things, the less I want to talk about them too. It's like, here's 50 hints at something that might be happening, and it's just pure speculation, a lot of it at this point. And I'm excited, and I'm excited to talk about it, but let's save that for Elden Dogs.
Nah,
So in this expansion, Giggles, Mary, and Reginald are the 3 big bosses.
Man, as somebody who is the biggest From Software guy, it's funny that you're making fun of it.
I have to. I'll play this. I will. But I'm not in any rush. I think it looks fun. I think the trailer,
supposed to be massive.
It's supposed to be all of Limgrave size.
Well,
essentially.
from what I've heard, is it's supposed to be like 50 to 70 hours ish in length.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which for a DLC, From Software just comes in and they just slap the shit out of all these other people. Like, give us a season pass for another 15, 20 hours of content. And From Software's like, nah, dude, this is the size of a sequel. This is the size of a new game.
Right.
And it's a DLC. Fuck you. They drop the mic and they walk out.
Yeah.
And it's, man, studios like that, I just have so much respect for these days in an era of squeezing pennies out of people and treating staff like shit. From Software is doing it right.
I feel like a lot of Japanese companies have it in mind that it's not always about growth. It's about like making profit later.
It's about reputation. Growth, money comes from that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and having your first open world From Soft game come out, and I don't think they expected. Well, I know they didn't expect the reception that they got, and a lot of new players. I think this is also an appreciation too. Like they know they got a gem on their hands, and they want to take care of it.
Do you guys know if Hollow Knight 2 is ever coming out?
Silk Song.
Dude.
Don't even. I've been waiting for that game probably since 2018 with like bated breath.
I also like that studio will release it when it's right, and that's fine.
That's A-okay, but I'm telling you, like, it didn't even take this long to actually make Hollow Knight itself. That's all I know.
I think they're cooking up something crazy. I think it's going to be...
I just want to play as Hornet and throw my needle around. That's all I want to do.
That's all we want to do.
That's really it.
There's this weird thing as I get older is, or maybe it's not with age, it's just with me, but the games that I get excited for are like, I'm way more excited, and 95% of things I just find like annoying and don't want to look at ever again. I watched most of the State of Play, and I was like, God, I hate all of this except for like 2 games. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I can't wait to get my hands on those.
I am getting a little more like cynical as I get older.
Yeah. I'm either all in or get it away from me.
Yeah.
I think hype in itself is overrated. You're getting excited about a thing you've never touched or understood or felt, and you're basically you're making like these weird promises to yourself mentally, and call me crazy, but you set up all these expectations, you're bound for disappointment more times than you are like the pleasure of having something turn out really well.
We can talk about what we've been playing, and I'll talk about expectations and excitements.
Yeah.
Next up, we got the Assassin's Creed Shadows trailer came out. Expected to come out November 15th. It is going to feature 2 protagonists, which it turns out one of them is actually based on a real person.
Yasuke.
Yep.
And the other character, Noah,
she's the fictional daughter of a real life figure.
Yeah, so she's derived from a real figure.
Fubayashi Nagato is her dad. I think I said that right.
I've just been in a Asian culture, Japanese culture like phase recently. I just finished reading Shogun.
Nice.
And loved watching Shogun, and
Ghost of Tsushima, dude, it's sitting right there.
I think I'd rather play Ghost of Tsushima than Shadows.
It's really good.
It's 10 out of 10.
And I do it with the Kurosawa.
Ghost of Tsushima, for all of its little quibbles I can have about it, is just one of those games where like
it gets
like the emotionality of the storytelling, how it ramps up. The side missions are actually kind of interesting, which most of the time I just skip dialogue all the way through. You actually want to learn more about these characters. Yeah, man. I mean, I don't see a need for this in my like zeitgeist.
This is
My personal zeitgeist.
AC fans have been like, we want Egypt and we want Japan. Those have been 2 of the most requested ones.
Yeah.
And I think we talked about this before. Like South America is where I would like to see one set.
Dude, an Aztec one would be nuts.
I want like a Cold War Russia.
That'd be sick.
Oh, that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
In this trailer, it's a nice cinematic trailer introducing both of the characters. And I mentioned that, how do you say his name? Yasuke is a samurai based off an actual historical person, believed to be the first African in Japanese like recorded history, apparently. He was a bodyguard.
That's fucking cool. That's really cool.
That's dope. It's a good idea, regardless of anything.
His life there's a lot of arguments about how his life shaked out, but it's generally believed that he came over to Japan as a bodyguard for an Italian man whose name is like Alessandro Giuseppe. Giuseppe. Yeah, we're just going to call him Alessandro. He's got 3 names in here. And
I love that Lady Gaga song.
Oh, yeah, I forgot all about that.
It's Alejandro, but
Muad'Dib.
So, yeah, he was a bodyguard, arrived in like 1579, and then he went on to serve Oda Nobunaga.
Oh, yeah.
And then his life is argued over. But
what about the internet trolls?
Yeah, you mentioned that in here. There's some controversy. Why?
Well, why can't we have it be a non-black man is what a lot of fucking idiots on the internet are saying.
Yeah.
So racism.
It's just racism. Yeah. I think that, it's like, he's not, some people are like, he wasn't even a real samurai. He was a retainer. It's like, no, that is a real samurai. He's a vassal.
Yeah.
Some people were saying, why can't we ever just get they said an East Asian male assassin. I'm like, guys, calm down, dude. I don't know. People just like to be outraged on the internet.
One of the characters,
it was a
one of the characters is.
Yeah. Well, the problem is
it's a woman.
It's a woman. Oh, and you remember Odyssey? It was supposed to just be a woman, and then they're like, we got to pivot because people are gonna freak out.
Cassandra is up there with Ezio in my Assassin's Creed protagonists.
Absolutely.
Yes. Malaka.
Oh, I forgot all about Malaka.
Yeah. I think the story looks great. I like the setting, and having the fish out of water is a really good way to get introduced to culture in a tale. So having a black samurai and having them go through trials or like expectations, I think is great.
Yeah. Plus
you have a fucking Japanese woman. Like, I don't know, but people were like dislike bombing or review bombing the trailer and stuff, and I'm so tired of people.
I really am.
I feel like online nowadays everything's such a hive mind because and it's Eminem just put out a new song, right?
Sure. It's pretty good.
It's a great song. It's called Houdini, and it's very early 2000s. Like, he's going kind of back to Slim Shady, and the album is going to be called The Death of Slim Shady. But it's a great song, and people were shitting all over it because they didn't like, going back to the Slim Shady era. But the song, objectively, is a very good song, and it's very well made. The music video was hilarious and very well produced.
It's him having a conversation with his younger self.
Yeah, and it's a nice idea for a concept album, but it seems like nobody really thought that much about it. They just were like, yeah, this fucking sucks. And that hive mind exists everywhere now.
That everyone's got this quick shooter. They're ready to shoot at anything. Yeah, that sucks.
I'm
offended.
Yeah, everybody's so ready to be upset at something.
I really don't like most modern rap anyway, so I don't know. Like, I just think it sounds like bips, boops, and overactive bass structuring. It's just, I don't know.
You should listen to They Not Like Us, the Kendrick diss.
I like Kendrick. I'll go to bat for Kendrick. I like Kid Cudi. There's a few.
Yeah, Kid Cudi was great in X.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's such a good movie.
Yep.
And
Bill and Ted 3. He's great in that, too.
Assassin's Creed Shadows looks really dope. The coolest thing I took away from it in the trailer was at the end when she uses the hidden blade. It, like, pivots at a 90-degree where you can, like, hold it and stab.
Oh, yeah.
Like a little dagger. Cool. That was super cool. I'm ready for that.
I'm ready for a cross-guard one like they did with Star Wars lightsabers.
Next up, we got a weird. I didn't even know this was happening, and I find it absolutely bizarre that they're doing it. Have you guys ever played Rainbow Six Siege?
I have played it.
I played one of those Rainbow Six games. I don't know.
Siege is fun.
I had some friends who were super into it, and I was very poor when they were playing it. I was like, I can't afford a game that I'm only going to play for like a week and then probably never touch again because I'm not really big into multiplayer games outside of Helldivers 2.
It's good. It's tactical. Like you storm a place, and then there's like a defensive team and a siege team, and it's basically like you put up boards and doors, and then you have to break through them,
And you can go through the floor, and like drop down a level. I've seen gameplay. It looks a lot of fun. It's like a 9-year-old game though.
However,
apparently Ubisoft announced that Siege would be getting a monthly membership subscription for an 8-year-old game. Why are they doing this now?
Good luck.
It seems really dumb. It
I
seems
think
like
people will quit.
It seems like a way to kill your player base.
maybe they're just trying to kill the player base, so they have to they can push them into the next game.
Maybe.
Well, the next one that came out was Rainbow Six Extraction, and that was kind of about like fighting aliens.
I honestly think, Dylan, that you have a hyperbaric time chamber at your house where you can somehow play every video game that's ever come out.
Not really.
I have no idea how you get through so many games.
I didn't play any video games yesterday or the day before, but I try a lot of games. I don't often stick with them.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Yeah, it's weird. The membership will be $10 a month or $80 for the year. You get instant access to the ongoing season's battle pass, 10 level skips, a Bravo pack, which is just a loot box, and then every month you'll get 10 more level skips, another Bravo pack, a cosmetic drop, plus a legendary item. Redditors are already talking about boycotting the game.
I had no idea until I heard about the legendary item. I wasn't in, but no, I'm definitely back now.
They had me at cosmetic. I'm going to pay $80 a year for 12 cosmetics.
No.
It
Not
seems
on
like...
your
Can I
life.
play as Doctor Strange in the game? Because otherwise, what's the point?
At least with Fortnite, it's a global phenomenon that constantly is evolving and showing you new things. I mean, essentially, it's all battle royale, right? But they try new shit every single time.
Every new game is either Overwatch or Fortnite.
That's what they want.
It's a live service world, and we're just living in it.
Yep.
Speaking of Fortnite...
Uh-oh.
Gerard Way apparently is going to have some music or something to do with it.
All right, Dylan, you and I could take a half an hour break and let Tyler talk about Gerard for a while.
He's a great comic writer. Well, no, I don't think Umbrella Academy's that good. He's made some good stuff, though.
He's one of the best people that's ever existed on the face of the planet.
That's so weird. Why don't you just marry him?
He couldn't because he doesn't know him.
He's already married.
Well, bigamy, you know.
Yeah, there's
Polygamy?
There's your Gerard Way / My Chemical Romance reference for the day. Destiny 2. Destiny 2 is got the, what is it, the final
shape.
The final shape is coming out. The culmination
it's
of
a square.
10 years of storytelling for Destiny 2 is getting wrapped up. It's not out
10 years
until
of
the 4th.
storytelling.
Okay, this is a challenge. You talked about this is the culmination of 10 years of story. Dylan, say everything you know about the story of Destiny.
There's a big ship called the Traveler, and it's this big round globe, and it arrives on Mars, I think, first, if I remember the opening to Destiny 1. And then slowly it uses its like light powers, light magic, light technology to like help humans kind of advance as a civilization.
Okay.
And as it does that, it sends out signals to space, and there are a bunch of these alien species that come to try and reclaim the Traveler and like absorb it. And you are tasked with being a person who defends it.
Can you add anything to that, Tyler?
Nope.
I don't think I can add a lot more.
I think that's the bones of it.
But that's the whole story from the first hour of the game, of the first game.
There's some interesting stuff they did early Destiny 2 with the story that I thought was pretty interesting. I went all the way up to, the Forsaken.
I played a lot of Destiny 1.
Yeah, that's what I played too. I had the white PlayStation 4 bundle.
Yeah.
I've never seen like such a pretty car with such a shit engine. I don't know how I'm trying to say it. The gameplay is fantastic. The story is just not there. And the charisma of Nathan Fillion and Zavala, just the charisma of two voice actors have carried that entire...
Well, Cade 6 was dead for a long time.
Well, now it's Cade 7.
It's Cade 6 still, I think, right?
Okay. I just want Alpha 5.
See, I don't know, but I know that Nathan Fillion's back as Cade 6. So,
Yeah, so The final shape is coming out on the 4th, but some PlayStation 5 users were able to access the expansion early using Sony's cloud gaming service and preloading.
They accidentally pushed it early on PlayStation.
So full screenshots of new loot, raid exotics, and even partial cutscenes are being shared around the internet currently. Bungie had nothing to say at first. They were kind of quiet, and then they came out and said, like, yeah, we accidentally pushed it early. So people are a little pissed off because a lot of it was spoiled.
Yeah, whatever.
The story means next to jack shit in that. Like
Nobody is like, what's going to happen with the Traveler?
Some people are. Some people are fully like, this is their game. Like, this is like the one game they play. And I understand that.
The story for Destiny was largely hidden in grimoires and super obscure lore that a lot of it you had to go on your computer to go find.
Yeah.
I'm so against that concept.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, as you're somebody who has a pretty high tolerance for lore shit after Elden Ring, and you didn't like
Elden Ring is good lore. If you say high tolerance for lore shit, I could talk about Kingdom Hearts. Like,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
when item descriptions mention like a legend, that's a little bit different than 2 paragraphs about the one time a guy met another guy.
Xemnas, Ansem X, you might know.
Yeah, so Destiny, we'll see how that shakes out. It comes out in a couple days as of the recording of this, so that's pretty cool.
I'm just excited that Destiny 2 will be ending, and hopefully Bungie can do something with its life.
It's just going to be more live service because Sony is going balls deep into live service, as we saw with the Concord, was it, trailer? The new Overwatch clone thing that they're making.
We'll talk about State of Play.
Yeah. Next up, Hades 2 is in early access as of the beginning of May. And within 9 hours of early access, the game already reached 80,000 concurrent players. This is an all-time peak. The original Hades only had 37,749 concurrent players as their tippy top of the mountain.
I'm so excited.
It's right there for you.
I'm not going to touch.
I'm not touching it.
It's right there
have to
for
be
you.
Pizza Tower first.
Okay.
I'm not touching it until it's ready. I don't want to play it in early access.
I am the kind of person, though, that will eat a French fry that's not all the way cooked yet just because I'm hungry and I see it.
It honestly...
That's a good analogy.
I've played Hades 2, and obviously no spoilers, but it feels like an essentially pretty complete package at the moment.
Sure.
There's going to be tweaks, obviously, and they're going to change certain things like the boons and how they work. I'm going to imagine a bunch of that's going to be a little bit different, but this feels like... Yeah, like you get a pizza out just a little too early, but that dough is kind of chewy and you like it.
It's good in a different way.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I enjoy the game immensely. I kind of had to stop just because I was like, well, let's see what the next update brings. I don't know.
I think I would just get frustrated because I'd get to the point where I want to keep going and it's not there yet, and I'd find that almost more aggravating.
It ends. There's an ending.
Yeah, but it's not the complete ending.
Sure.
Yeah.
But the amount of times I'm going to play this game, it just doesn't really matter to me.
I know Claire has been playing it in our Discord, which almost tempted me to jump on, and then I held fast. I held strong. I've also been working a lot, so it's not like I had time to really play anything.
Speaking of Claire, she's a major Resident Evil fan, and a lot of Resident Evil leaks have been getting spread around lately.
Yes, the next Resident Evil remakes will be 2000's Code Veronica and Zero, which came out in 2002.
Zero.
Okay, let's slow down and sit on this for a second.
It takes place on a train, and Zero sucks.
Zero was a cool idea that failed spectacularly.
But
Let's play as Billy, the dude with a mullet, a tank top, and tattoos. He's a prisoner, and Rebecca Chambers.
I love the idea. I never played Zero. I think I played a little bit of Code Veronica when I was a kid.
Yeah, I think Zero is a good concept. I mean, I've read the novelization.
Well, a remake could breathe new life into it. They could really
It takes
beef
place
it up.
on one train. It's the biggest problem. It's meant to be a short survival horror game. That's one of the biggest complaints about Zero.
Is it short?
It's extremely short.
Well, maybe this will be in the vein of Resident Evil 3 then.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. A little short, like bite-sized game.
Don't charge full price, though.
Code Veronica, though, I would fuck with that remake.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, because, dude, that's like when the lore... They're like, this is the deep end. We're going past it.
I think if they redid 5 and they kind of set it to right and kind of made it less awful, it'd be pretty. I liked Resident Evil 5 playing the game, but after you finish that game, you're just like, huh.
I'd really
There's
like
a lot of weird stuff.
I liked 5 a lot. I liked punching the boulder. I thought that was cool.
That's not 5.
That's
is
not
5.
5. That's 5.
He punches a boulder in a volcano.
Isn't that 6
No.
or 7?
No.
6 is the one with that's the one with where you play as Leon and
You do get to play as Chris for a while, and then there's a guy with like superpowers. Forget his name.
I was hoping they'd do a remake of 5 because I really liked that game.
Oh, it's coming, dude. Just wait a few years.
Well, no, they're saying that it might not come if ever because of apparently racism because of the location where the game takes place. But I don't remember that game ever being racist. But
You go to native villages full of native zombies who are basically wearing just like loincloths and just popping them off.
Indiana Jones does it.
Yeah. Well, he's Harrison Ford. He can get away with it.
I would like a remake.
He
for
gets
5.
away with earrings.
Somebody asked him recently, is your character going to turn into the Red Hulk?
He's like, what's a Red Hulk?
And he's the only actor I could believe not like fucking around. He probably just doesn't know.
No, he doesn't. So no, the answer is no. He's not going to be Red Hulk.
What?
What did you call me?
What's a Red Hulk?
He will be a Red Hulk, though. The toys or
Thunderbolt.
the images have been.
Thunderbolt Ross,
Yeah.
Yeah, so Code Veronica and Zero, it was a rumor that went out on Twitter by a guy named Dusk Golem, which apparently he is a very prominent survival horror game leaker, which I didn't know was a thing that you could be, which is hilarious because there's like Adam Scheffler in the NFL is like somebody who will like get on Twitter and be like Aaron Rodgers, blah, blah, blah. And like he knows sometimes before he gets on ESPN and stuff.
Yeah.
Or
I went down a deep hole where someone was talking about all of the Elden Ring leaks before Elden Ring was announced about them finding out George R. R. Martin. There's like online crazy communities for all that stuff. Yeah, leakers are something I generally don't pay attention to, but I'm excited about Resident Evil ones.
Yep, and then they went on to further say that people were suggesting that the original Resident Evil would get a remake, which would be the second time that game's been remade. And Dusk Golem said that's bullshit.
Oh,
so apparently he said the original and 5 are not being remade.
not yet.
One would be interesting if they just expanded the mansion a little bit, but I don't know.
I want
still-
Resident Evil
still
1
think-
VR is what I want.
Oh boy, yeah,
In the style of 7.
yeah, that'd be great.
Yep.
I would fuck with that. Absolutely.
And that could be a shorter experience, but worth it with the VR.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then Resident Evil 9.
Yeah, could be coming out.
As soon as January is what they were saying.
For real.
They said,
It's about time.
from what I've read, they're like, this is the longest development cycle for a Resident Evil game. It's been in the oven for a long time.
Yeah, it's been about 2008, 6 years.
If that turns out to be true, the fact that they haven't made any big announcements about it until it's potentially going to get released has me very excited.
Yeah, I hope they do. I hope they do what they did with the 4 remake, where they drop the trailer and they're like, comes out in a couple months. Enjoy.
Yeah.
That's a game I got to buy again for VR. Shit.
Do you have anything in Console Critters about the Rocksteady guys for Microsoft?
Getting picked up to make a new game.
Yep.
I didn't. Because we don't know what the game is yet, right?
No, I just thought it was cool that the co-founders of Rocksteady, Sefton Hill and Jamie Walker, have signed a deal with Xbox to fund their new studio, 100 Star.
When did they leave Rocksteady?
20
After Arkham Knight?
22, maybe 2020.
Okay, so they saw the writing on the wall with Suicide Squad, and they're like, we're fucking out, dude.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But their new studio, 100 Stars, next AAA title is going to be on Xbox. It is a AAA standard single-player action-adventure game built in Unreal 5 engine, which anything that the Rocksteady guys make, if it's akin to the Arkham games, I'm going to enjoy.
I don't know. You liked
those.
Gotham Knights.
I just tried. I tried. And once I was not going to let the game beat me. The story of it was pretty cool. EA is, I got 2 things for EA. One, they dropped, and I cannot say how excited I am for this. I'm ready to be heard again. College Football 25 has got a gameplay trailer out now. It does.
Are they going to have quarterbacks?
I hope so. It would really fuck the game up if they didn't.
This is exciting.
Is there a lot of good like ball passing?
Oh yeah,
They're going to have different kinds of passing.
Are the tackles looking tight?
No tackles. They couldn't implement them. It might
It's
be
flag.
it'll be a DLC.
flag.
Yeah,
it'll be
you-
a DLC later on. Different tackles for different amounts of money.
I hear that the ribbons that they have for tag football, I hear that they have their own like physics engine.
They actually got the same guys that did Batman's Cape and the Arkham City series to do it.
So I heard that they're going to be taking the actual engine from Madden 2017 and just reskinning it.
Probably. The gameplay trailer did look pretty good. They have a bunch of new systems that they're trying to implement. It does look like they're distancing themselves a little bit from the gameplay of Madden. They are offering a bundle where you can get that and the new Madden for like a...
What do you mean they're distancing themselves from the gameplay of Madden? I imagine this is going to be a 1-to-1 Madden, but with college names.
Looking at the gameplay, they have... there's different playbooks that they run specifically in college as opposed to professional football. Like, you got the triple option that like Air Force runs. Michigan's really known for their ground game, and they're going to have unique playbooks for all of the schools so that you're actually playing the style that the school plays. Whereas in Madden, it's like, do you want to use the Philadelphia Eagles playbook? And you have essentially the exact same plays as every other fucking team.
So how is Michigan's Sky game?
It's not as good as their ground game, but they had Blake Corum, and when you have Blake Corum, you run the football.
Duh.
They're the reigning national champions.
I love Blake.
My favorite team.
I love Blake Corum. Did you know that he is actually in Kingdom Hearts 3?
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. I would definitely play it then.
It's a crossover.
The last one was NCAA College Football 2014. The college games were always better than the Madden games 100% of the time. And I think the NFL has a lot to do with a lot of the features being removed from Madden. They don't want concussions in the game. They don't want back in the day, because you used to be able to get concussions. I was going to
crack a joke. You prefer watching younger people get concussions.
Well, those won't be.
Growing up to murder their entire family.
Fun fact: you actually can't get hurt in college football.
Yeah. No, you can't. It's impossible.
We're not going to show people murdering their families because of CTEs later on in life.
No. They do have like a new injury system that's going to be in the college football game, which is pretty cool, where wear and tear is a thing, it just adds a sense of realism to the game. They have all the stadiums. They didn't use jump around, apparently. Brad told me that jump around.
I saw that the Badgers, they weren't allowed to use the jump around celebration that is common for the Badgers. It was on the Wisconsin subreddit.
In between the third and the fourth quarter, they play it and everybody jumps around. But they do have Mo Bamba, which if you're a college football fan, you know how fucking crazy that is.
It's so crazy.
They play it very loud.
This dude rides a sandworm.
Nice.
Yeah. It looks like it's going to be fun.
Mo Bamba.
I'm worried.
Muad'Dib Mo Bamba.
Which also goes into the next EA little bit of news. EA proposes thoughtful in-game ads. At a recent earnings call, EA revealed to be considering a more aggressive in-game ad policy with regards to its AAA games. CEO Andrew Wilson stated...
It's thoughtful, so it's okay.
Stated that the company is working on thoughtful implementations of ads. Now, my thoughts on this is...
That means you're going to get your data from when you were in Target saying that you thought this pillow looked nice, and you'll get an ad for that pillow in the game.
It's just going to remind me that I bought, like, hemorrhoid wipes 1 or 2 times, and it's going to be like, hey, you still got hemorrhoids? I'm going to be like, no. He's like, you might.
Yeah.
You might, dude.
The way I'm thinking about this is, so you have a college football game coming out. If there's ads on like the scoreboard or tickers and stuff, that's fine by me. That adds a sense of realism to the game.
If you're playing in Maxi Tampon Stadium, that's fine to have it there.
Yes, totally fine. I'm okay with that. If you put ads in a game where it's trying to replicate real life and it's more immersion, I'm okay with that.
Tony Hawk, I want to see the companies.
Yes.
Yes.
And if they did like presentation, like say you score a touchdown and they're going to do the replay and they throw up the little graphic and they're like, this replay is brought to you by Snickers. Like that adds a sense of realism that I would like in the game. However, it is EA, and we know EA.
I'm not worried about the sports side of this.
I'm worried about the other side of it.
Star Wars Jedi 3, you're going to get a pop-up ad in between, like on a loading screen or up on the main menu.
Yeah.
Check out Disney Plus.
Yep. They're going to start putting ads in loading screens. They're going to start, who knows, they might start putting fucking ads for real life stuff in games that aren't set in real life.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Man, I just don't know if I could ever buy an EA game again.
Star Wars, you will. You'll buy Jedi 3.
By Jedi 3.
That's it, though.
Feels like it.
That, and I can't wait for college football. I'm a huge Mo Bamba fan.
Yeah, I love that dance.
Yeah.
So silly.
Dude, Jason Borkum, ground game. Let's
Jason
go,
Borkum.
dude.
Tight, dude.
Go, dude.
Tight. I love the pigskins.
Dude, there's more pixels on the pigskins than ever before in another game.
Oh, man.
Yes.
Can't wait to touch it.
Dude, Jason
Virtually.
Borkum rides a sandworm. Muad'Dib Mobambo.
Yeah, so that's EA's little tidbit of news, and this is the part of the podcast where I have to say, fuck you, EA.
Fuck you, EA.
Fuck you.
That's fair.
Every time. Got to do it. Next up, we have the Mad Max. Furiosa just came out, and I saw it. I loved it. 10 out of 10. Would definitely go see it again if either one of you guys want to go to the movies.
I heard a heartwarming story about that. The little, the young boy that like pops his head out, you've seen pictures of on the internet. That was a kid who went viral for getting bullied and being very down on himself. And then like the internet rallied around him, and now he's acting alongside Anya Taylor-Joy in Mad Max films.
That's
so,
awesome.
I heard that. I was like, fuck yeah, dude.
George Miller is a very conscious and emotionally driven film director. This seems like he would do that.
He's got a passion that I really admire.
You love Happy Feet.
Yes, fantastic.
Only the first one.
Actually, 2 is way better.
I like it when the little shrimp are tap dancing, Brad Pitt and Matt Damon.
That's 2.
Okay, I'm going to be honest. I don't know if I've seen the first one. I've seen the second one. I was happy, though.
Yeah, you got up and danced in the theater.
I'm a penguin and I want to dance. That's my favorite line from the film.
You were like 17 years old, and your dad's just like,
Dude, and
oh
that
my
penguin,
God, I
when
can't
it
take
rides
him
the
anyway.
sandworm. Muad'Dib, Brad Pitt.
George Miller said he would support another game set in the universe if Kojima made it. It's obviously...
Talk about just throwing a Hail Mary up, hopefully. Kojima.
Genius game recognized game.
Yeah,
that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, but Kojima will do whatever Kojima does.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would love another Mad Max game. I recently played a little bit of the other Mad Max game because I almost platinumed it, and I was like, I can go back and just get that platinum. But
not a
Are we
bad
talking
game.
about what George Miller said about the Mad Max game? Is that what you were bringing
getting to
up?
it? Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I played a little bit of the 2015 game that came out the same year as Fury Road, and George Miller does not like that game. It was not up to his standards. Miller had stated that the 2015 Mad Max game from Avalanche Studios was not as good as he wanted it to be.
Well,
And that's putting it a little nicer.
he's a perfectionist.
Yeah.
I imagine 100%, almost 100% of filmmakers that have a game based on their movie would not approve of all the decisions made in the game.
No.
It's just the way it is.
I will talk about Mad Max and the end segment here of Beloved Bombs because it was not very well received. Obviously, it didn't get another sequel, but it was really cool in Furiosa to see like Chum Bucket, and you actually get to see Scrotus, Rectus's brother.
Yeah.
Cum bucket,
Chum Bucket,
scrotum, and rectum?
Scrotus, Rectus.
Scrotus rectus. Yeah.
Those are the brothers. Those
Okay.
are Amorton Joe's sons. And then you have Chum Bucket, who like makes cars. And
Okay, so I didn't know that the game was a sequel to Fury Road or a prequel.
it is, I think, in between.
3, Thunderdome and Fury.
I think it's in between Fury Road and Furiosa.
Recently-
because Scrotus is in it, and you kill Scrotus in the game.
Recently, someone asked George Miller, like, what time frame does this take place? And is this the same Max? He's like, I don't know. I don't really care. It's just a movie.
In
And
my-
I'm like, that is the most refreshing take on the lore
Yeah.
when people are so concerned with who is Mario and Luigi's father. He's like, I don't fucking care. It's just another Mad Max movie. Go watch it.
In my headcanon, the way that it works out is there's Mel Gibson's Max, and then what is it in
Hardy.
2 that he has the kid, the little kid that doesn't talk? I believe that kid grew up, and that is Tom Hardy's character.
No,
and
that's the same Max though, is what it's been said.
I'm in my head believing it this way because George Miller says I can believe it this way because he doesn't give a shit.
I'm more and more a George Miller fan the more I hear about him.
Yeah. Plus, the way that he writes movies is awesome. I saw like a long behind the scenes of Fury Road, and there wasn't really a script. It was essentially just like storyboards and a comic book.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he just had the visual that he wanted because it's essentially just a car chase for an hour and some change.
Yeah.
but damn, does he do it well.
He writes great dialogue by not writing dialogue.
Yep.
Yeah.
In other video game TV news, The Last of Us is currently shooting its second season, and Jeffrey Wright from Westworld is going to reprise his role as Isaac from the second game, which is... Did either of you ever play it?
No.
Okay. No,
So-
I'll watch it.
Isaac is a character that does not have a lot of screen time in the second game. He is talked about a lot, and he's feared. He is fucking brutal, and he's the leader of the wolf.
So do you think they're going to expand it?
They're going to expand, and having him play the role is going to be amazing because Isaac is a scary motherfucker in the game. He has he's the leader of the Washington Liberation Front, the Wolves.
That's my favorite football team.
That'd be a cool.
They're called the Commanders now.
Yeah. Seeing them expand on Isaac's
That was a really good joke.
Muad'Dib.
seeing them expand on Isaac's character is going to be really cool for people who played the second game.
Is Gerard Way going to be in it?
I fucking hope so.
I hear he's going to be playing Ellie.
That'd be such a weird movie. Yeah, no, Isaac is a fucking brutal character and he's very interesting. So I'm glad they got Jeffrey Wright to play the role. Anybody who's played
this video, do you have it physical?
Maybe. I've bought it like 3 times.
Last of Us 2?
That'd be the only way I'd
It's
play
probably
it.
on Spartacus.
I do have Spartacus.
I believe it is on Spartacus. If not, it's on sale.
Oh shit! Well,
I
know
do like
much.
that we refuse to say plus premium.
Spartacus
plus.
is so much cooler.
It's just a good. I understand it.
it's way better.
And then the last little bit of video game television news that I got. We got our first look at the lesser Hemsworth as Geralt of Rivia in season 4 of The Witcher.
Good luck.
Yes, best of luck to you, my
Those
man.
shoes are impossibly large to fill.
And he does look not great.
He's the fruit FROOT loopies to the regular brand Fruit Loops.
Oh, he's the off-brand, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all know that Henry Cavill,
Our family brand Hemsworth.
Henry Cavill killed the role, and he was very faithful to the source material.
Henry Cavill is just the guy, dude.
Dude, he is, man. I read recently, though, that it was said that his agent gave him some bad advice, and that's why he left the show. And I don't believe that. I
don't believe any of that. He stood by his guns, and was complaining that they were changing the story away from the novels, and he was way too vocal, and he was upset they were changing it further, and there was just like a unstoppable force and a movable object scenario.
Yeah.
And they chose to get rid of Henry Cavill and instead stick to their guns of changing a beloved fantasy series.
It's like
Someone
when
who was not even in it for the money.
It's like
Yeah, he just loves it.
Like when a band changes their lead singer, like you can replace a guitarist, and I think a large portion of people, as long as the vocalist stays the same, can digest that. Unless you're a musician,
like The Edge or Sting. Whatever.
but when you change the lead character,
Jason Borkham.
you're gonna have a tough time when you recast the lead. It's gonna be tough. It's not like a Doctor Who scenario where it's written
AC/DC
into the
did it.
story.
But I mean, and Henry Cavill is the nerd guy. Like nerds idolize him.
Yeah,
And
Warhammer's lucky
Liam
to have him.
Hemsworth has never been a Hemsworth that I care about.
No,
He just looks dumb.
It's like, yeah, I agree.
and after
It's just he kind of just looks.
Someone
dumb.
beat up Chris Hemsworth with a bag
Like
of potatoes.
hot dumb is fine, but like I don't know. I bet he's an intelligent person. I don't want to besmirch him, but whenever I look at him, I'm just like, fuck, I don't like
especially after his brother's turn in Furiosa as Demantis, which might be one of the best movie villains I've ever seen. He's up there top 3 in my book.
I will say to The Witcher, good luck. I hope it goes well. I hope people like it.
And I will say, fuck you. You fucked it up.
Whoa.
I hope you burn.
This is a real hot take shit.
That's to the creators. No animosity towards Liam Hemsworth or any of the other
No.
actors. They're just fucking working.
Yep. No, not to you guys. To the people who are controlling the show. You had it. You had it there. Game of Thrones fucked it up, and you had something. You could have ran with it.
House of the Dragon
You
is right
could
around
have-
the corner, man.
You could have made it great. And you
Okay.
pushed the one dude out that fucking loved it. You're idiots.
I heard that a dragon farts in the new season,
Whoa, dude.
but it farts fire.
Muad'Dib. That's just my new Malacca.
No Man's Sky Adrift was announced.
Did you see the trailer for this, Dylan?
No, I have No Man's Sky now
Well, you do have it?
for VR too.
Well, you might be able to explore an abandoned universe, dangerous worlds with no NPCs, no shops, and no help.
Okay.
All antagonistic. The fact that No Man's Sky is still making new shit just blows me away.
Jumping into this game in VR is so bog shit bananas. I don't know how to explain. It's almost a completely different game than the one I played in 2016. And I was expecting a lot of similar shit.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
The joy of
completely different.
The joy of flying a spaceship in VR is unparalleled.
This one's great too. Like you can feel the landing gear clicking in, and then you kind of like you're like, whoa, because you know how it kicks back a little to land. Mm-hmm. You mentally like feel it. It's insane.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to announce that Smooth Sack Summer is officially upon us. You heard right. When you're playing in that summer sun, make sure you've groomed your pubes to bum. Thanks to our friends at Manscaped, you can make this season your smoothest yet. The Performance Package 5.0 Ultra is the ultimate bundle to keep your boys downstairs cool while you're looking hot. Join the 10 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with our exclusive offer. You can get 20% off plus free shipping when you go to manscaped.com and use the code DOGCAST20. Before Manscaped reached out to us, I was thinking, when was the last time I had taken care of my undercarriage? And I don't want to say it on air, but it was time to step up my game.
That's what I've been doing. And just recently, I got the Manscaped Performance Package. It's got everything you need to prepare your balls for the summer.
Intrigued.
Yeah, the lawnmower helps you reduce risks. I mean, we've all nicked our balls before.
Mm-hmm. It's scary.
Yeah, it is terrifying. Yes, their 5th generation trimmer features 2 interchangeable next generation skin safe blade heads, a standard one for taking a little off the top, and a new foil blade to go smooth wherever your heart desires. And mine is my balls.
Well, it sounds perfect. I'm really glad they chose to sponsor us.
Yes, my wife is happy, I'm happy, and my balls are smooth. Smooth Sack Summer is in effect.
My balls thanked me.
Check out manscaped.com and get 20% off and free shipping when you use the discount code DOGCAST20. Thanks again to Manscaped for sponsoring this episode and giving some of these awesome products to try out. Check it out. You should. Take care of your balls.
Your balls will thank you. Console critters. Here we go. I'm gonna jump off. I'm gonna
Here
start.
We go.
Let's go.
Woohoo! I'm a Kratos.
All right, this is your boy Spartacus, and just starting off. Since its launch in 2000, the PS5 has sold just over 59 million units. According to Sony, PSN had 118 million active users as of March 31st. The PS5 install base accounts for exactly half of that total. I found that to be crazy. I know that COVID and supply problems probably led to a large portion of that, but 4 years into its life cycle, still producing multi-platform games is crazy, especially with the way that the PlayStation 5 is supposed to be beefed up.
Yeah.
But Square Enix... Squeenix, yes. PS5 exclusivity is going to end following disappointing sales numbers for Rebirth and Final Fantasy 16. The studio announced a new business plan shifting away from a multi-platform strategy. Blah.
Makes sense. I mean,
Sony has to give up the dollars if they want to keep them exclusive. Like they have to give them all the incentive to just stay on that console, and it just doesn't sound like that exclusivity was doing anything for them anymore.
whatever's most profitable for Square is what's going to be the best, and if Sony's not giving them the money to pay for it, it makes sense. I don't think Xbox is going to have much of a Final Fantasy base either, but it will sell.
I think a lot more people have the Series X than we know of. I guess.
To me, though, it's like I have both, and RPGs belong on the PlayStation. Like just certain games, I kind of just it's a little bifurcated. Where I like certain games on my Xbox, certain games on my PlayStation, and if it's going to be an RPG, a Final Fantasy, it just feels right. So I kind of gravitate towards that.
But I don't pick favorites, but now knowing that the PS5 has a little bit more graphical oomph to it, I'll often take pretty games on that, and then Xbox is basically just my Game Pass machine now, which rightfully so. There's a lot of games that come out that it's great.
I have no idea how much a lot of games cost that I've played because it's just on Game Pass. And I was wondering how much Senua Saga costs new.
I'm guessing 60.
Okay. But I don't know.
No, I'm sorry. No, 40.
It's interesting though that I don't know because
only.
of Game Pass. But yeah, Square Enix, it makes sense. Go multi-platform, make your money. Just keep making good games. That's all I care about.
It's just crazy that many people still have a PlayStation 4. But for a lot of players, just having a PSN account to like play Fortnite and stuff, and like that's their game. I can see why am I going to shell out and get the PlayStation 5 if this is the game that I play?
Yeah, PlayStation 4. I think it should just be put down.
Yeah, I think it's time. I haven't touched my PlayStation 4 in a hot minute.
Yeah, why would you?
Yeah, I have a PS5.
Yeah, and they mentioned Switch too. Square Enix wants to make more games get to the Switch as well.
Smart.
Well, but limited. As far as things that can run on the Switch, it's not going to be anything. Switch 2 is around the corner, though.
They make a lot of games for Nintendo consoles ostensibly. Like, if you look at all of like those 2.5D like games like Star Ocean, and that's not Square, sorry. Like Octopath Traveler and like Bravely Default, stuff like that. Those are I always think of those as Nintendo products.
They just feel like Nintendo.
They should be on there, yeah.
And they could. Yeah.
Yep. Naughty Dog, as we know, has at least 2 more games coming. Another Last of Us game is probably coming down the pipe, but it's not their next game. They have a different new AAA title that's going to be coming out. We don't know when, but
they're bragging about it, right?
PlayStation recently interviewed Neil Druckmann, the showrunner and creator of the Last of Us series, and currently the leader over at Naughty Dog, to probably talk about the new game. But they got into some AI talk that landed Sony and Neil in some hot water. PlayStation recently interviewed Druckmann about his thoughts on the future of video games, and it appeared that he was very interested in AI. Some people called him AI apologetic, and the Kotaku,
Sure.
Kotaku.
The article I read said fucking clown shit. So some people are really upset with what he had to say. He said that as long as one can precisely direct AI tools, they could be very useful in creating nuanced dialogue and characters. He went on to say, AI is really going to revolutionize how content is being created, although it does bring up some ethical issues we need to address. With technologies like AI and the ability to do motion capture right from home, we're reducing both costs and technical hurdles, opening the door for us to take on more adventurous projects and push the boundaries of storytelling in games. This evolution is truly empowering creators to bring their visions to life without traditional obstacles. So naturally, that pisses people off.
What he's saying is the honest thing that no one wants to hear. AI is dangerous, but also if it's a way to save companies time and money, it's going to happen whether or not we think it's ethical or good. And there are opportunities. Like if a smaller studio can use AI to create things that are beyond their scope, that's cool. But it needs guidance, and it needs to be not at the cost of humans. Sadly, it's going to cost people jobs because, I mean, you don't think EA is going to just have as much AI as possible making college football 2026? Of course they will.
Yeah.
I don't think that read as... I thought that was a very thoughtful statement. I don't think that's quite a dog shit bombshell blow them up that everyone seems to think it is.
I think the fact that it's a little sympathetic with AI is what made people upset, I think.
People are very ready to get up in arms about it, especially after the writer's strike and what was going on with the potential for AI writing that was going on over there. I think people want to see people not lose jobs.
I think,
especially in an industry, Naughty Dog very included, that has very poor workplace when it comes to crunching, because we all know crunching is a thing that happens in the game industry. These people really fucking work hard, and way too hard sometimes, to give us the games that we love. So any deviation into the AI lane is going to be ill received by the public.
I think he's talking about slow implementation, and maybe for details that don't necessarily benefit the art itself, like how like a character walks down, like an NPC walks down the street. not all of that needs to be like mapped out and choreographed by human hands to make it feel right. I mean, how many times have you played a game where these characters are here doing the same thing every day over in certain spots? What if they walked around town? What if you had to search them out? Like, it's stuff like that. I don't know what he's talking about in terms of storytelling, because AI makes really bad stories. But
currently,
yeah. And I disagree with the idea that there are parts of this that need to remain human crafted. Like, I believe voice acting should all be crafted in studio by a living human being, and stuff like character design. You have to have intentionality. You can't let an AI decide what looks good.
Yeah.
Because it usually turns out dog shit anyway. And even when it gets good, it's just going to be using parts from other things and then trying to sell you what they think you want.
To me, it's kind of like the way search engines work on the internet.
Yeah.
It's the possibilities are endless, but if you know how to use it and hone in on what you're looking for, you can use it to do shortcuts or to get to where you're going quicker and at less of a cost. The biggest issue for me is the human cost and the fact that people will lose jobs. That's horrible. And studios are closing like crazy right now, left and right, everywhere.
And that's why I think this interview had very poor timing in the wake of so many layoffs for so long. The idea of more people losing jobs is going to piss people off.
Well, it's also this thing where we need universal basic income. Eventually, these giant corporations are just going to have all of their workforce be robotic, and they have to pay some sort of societal toll to stick around, because if they're using up the space in our society and they're not providing anything to the people underneath, like, just let's just fucking tax billionaires. Can we just do that?
I think it's food stamps problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hungry children that are the problem.
Fuck that single mother.
Kids don't need to eat food at schools.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Elon Musk needs $50 billion.
Yeah, so naturally people were pissed off, but then the little wrinkle in this story is that Sony has now removed the interview from its website, claiming that it contains several significant errors and inaccuracies. Druckmann even posted a transcript of one of his answers that did not resemble the response Sony published. The full statement that Sony
can't
gave,
delete things off the internet, man.
In re-reviewing our recent interview with Naughty Dog's Neil Druckmann, we have found several significant errors and inaccuracies that didn't represent his perspective and values, including topics such as animation, writing, technology, AI, and future projects. We apologize to Neil for misrepresenting his words and for any negative impact this interview might have caused him and his team. In coordination with Naughty Dog and Sony Entertainment, we have removed the interview.
This was Kotaku, right? The article?
Yes.
Yeah. Notoriously, it's so funny. They're so pro AI. The whole like Gawker Media company thing. They're all so pro. Like, they're ready to just have auto generated like articles.
Yep.
They're so fucking horny for it. And I've read a few. I know, because the authors aren't listed, and it's just like, well, money where your mouth is, I get. Or yeah, I don't know.
This is an internal affair because Naughty Dog is owned by Sony. It does kind of seem that I think somebody like a corporate higher up or somebody wanted to weave a narrative while using a public figure's influence to eagerly push AI and disguise it in the interview about a new game that everybody's looking forward to. My personal stance on this is that Neil is not in the wrong, and that his words might have been twisted, or the conversation might have been driven to achieve a different agenda.
I think that things were said the way they were said, and the fact that people got upset means that they said that they misspoke.
I do know that Sony has been talking more and more about AI as of late, and that's not. I mean, it's good, and it's not. It's a divisive topic, no matter which way it shakes out. But
yeah,
Neil got caught in the crossfire, and that sucks because I like Neil. He gave me two of my favorite games and a good show. A lot of my favorite games, actually.
You know, I just realized I don't really kind of worship at the feet of a lot of people. I think that everyone is bound to upset you at some point, because we're all humans, and that just happens. And I have people I admire for their work, but personality-wise, I'm never like, oh yeah, wow. Like, I don't know. I was sorry.
Nobody
I'm
gets
just remembering.
Nobody just gets a pass.
I'm just thinking about how old I am because then we were talking about the Drake Kendrick thing, and I'm just like Jesus. I'm just like Jesus Christ. Who cares? They're like 38-year-old men writing poems to each other. I'm sorry. That's essentially what it is.
Yeah, that's all the rap beef is. Two men in two different rooms writing poetry about each other.
This is my mean poem, and I'm going to put it to a beat. Big mean poem.
And
I probably pissed off so many people.
No.
It's my big mean poem.
Oh, I'm going to write an even meaner poem back.
In my poem, you're a pedophile.
I'm rubber and you're glue. Why are my pants on fire?
the last thing I
That
got
tickles me so hard.
the last thing I got for Spartacus, I lived it. It was a sad time, and now we're good. PlayStation fucked around and found out. On May 2nd, Arrowhead Game Studios, the people behind Helldivers 2, announced that on Steam, the grace period for people who did not have a PSN account was going to run out, and you needed a PSN account to play the game.
This is so funny to me. I feel like this happened like ages ago, but it was
happened
like this month.
Yeah, it happened at the beginning of May.
Fuck.
The Helldivers won.
The Helldivers did win. So what happened was the game had a very messy launch, and apparently on the Steam page, it did say that eventually you're going to need a PSN account to play the game. But due to the launch, they were like, fuck it, let PC players play, and we'll sort it out later. And then they said you have to have a PSN account. Now, PlayStation Network is not in every country, but there are a lot of Helldivers in countries where there is no PSN. So people were not able to play the game. Steam and Valve, or Steam, were issuing refunds. The game got absolutely review bombed.
Straight to hell, yeah.
I'm on the Helldivers Discord. It was anarchy in there. People were like, the fuck, they're killing what is potentially the best game so far of 2024. Like, they're shooting themselves directly in the foot. A lot of people are playing this game, and it's very fun.
No, yeah, I like the
Yeah,
game.
but that's only because college football isn't out yet.
Three of the people that I play with...
You see the Borkham's playbook? Dude,
Great
his Sky game? What?
I hear he can do both. He's a bit of a hybrid.
I heard that they're going to have Mobamba.
You're learning.
Mama bumba do do do.
Dude, I love Lou Bega.
Yeah, me too.
Ooh,
What is that?
It's a song. I don't know. They play
Is
it.
that what it is?
Yeah.
And what do you do? Do you do a dance? Can you dance?
No, it's a running play.
The crowd chants along, and they get really loud, and then the quarterback freaks out. It's awesome.
Oh, so it's okay. It's like,
Anyway, yes. Okay. So you needed a PSN account to play.
Muad'Dib.
You weren't able to access the game in several countries because of this. So this would have sucked for me because three of the people that I play with the most are PC players. And I would have no longer been able to play with them.
Well, they could have gotten a PlayStation account.
No, I don't think either one of them were really going to do that.
It's good that they backed off on this, although they're going to double down now on God of War Ragnarok.
Yep, you are going to need a PSN account to play that on Steam. They're going to be definitely more vigilant about it moving forward because they kind of missed the boat on this one. Even though this was always the plan, you were supposed to have a PSN account. They walked back on it. And I'll tell you, the Discord and the subreddit were just absolutely rejoicing.
I was on the subreddit, and they're just like, well, we're just not going to play the game.
Yeah.
Nobody play the game. And they stopped playing the game.
One person put a review on Steam, and they're like, I'm not getting a fucking PSN account, and gave it a dislike. And then they went through and put like May 2017, so many people data breach Sony. And they just went through and listed every time that there was a breach in Sony security. And they're like, why the fuck would I get this?
Yeah.
And
Steam has very good security, actually.
I'm just really proud that the Helldivers we stood together and we won this battle, because now I can keep dropping 500 kgs on Bile Titans, even though it doesn't really work, but it makes a big explosion, and I like it when it goes boom.
I like the Bile Titans. They're pretty cool.
I'm in.
Yeah. That's Spartacus.
No, it's not.
Well, we
Chad,
have State of Play.
Chad Xbox
We have
here,
State of
who's
Play,
going to
too.
save Spartacus from not talking about the state of play
Yeah, I
for
forgot about
PlayStation from 2 days ago.
State
Which is kind of big news.
It is kind of big news. We got some new gameplay trailers. Is a state of play.
We just watched some of them.
We just watched some of it. I found it a little underwhelming.
As most state of plays are.
The new Astro game though,
Astrobot.
that was
Full title.
Astrobot. Sorry, that looks fucking dope.
Over 80 levels spanning 6 galaxies, and they've said it is the most ambitious Astrobot game yet.
Well, the other one was like a demo.
Well, there's been 2.
And there's Astro's Playroom, right?
Rescue Mission was just like a 3D platformer, and it was just like they've mostly been just kind of like a tech showcase for the new Sony systems. Playroom VR.
I played that.
Rescue Mission's the VR one, and then I forget.
I don't.
The PS5 one though, amazing.
It's like a pack-in. It's great.
And I think this trailer, it looks so inventive and fun and different gameplay, different characters. It looks like at one point you're trying to save Parappa while like you're like spraying paint on stuff.
Yeah.
There are the little snake gloves where you can like swing from them and box. Like the whole thing just looks amazing.
It looks masturbatory in like a fun way. It's celebrating itself, but it's also like, I don't know, you're doing your own advertisement just by the game being out.
Astrobot is the best character Sony has had for a mascot since Crash Bandicoot, in my opinion.
It's pretty simple.
He's so great, and Astrobot as just like a masturbatory fantasy of like, it's just like all of Sony, and it's like at one point you're driving a PS5 fighting something in space. I'm like, sure,
Whatever.
I'm in.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
There are a lot of games that do stuff like that. I don't know.
But this one's cool. It's got it had the dude from Eco, it had Kratos, it had Nathan Drake. It's just fun that it can play around with all of these licenses in a way.
His name is Eco.
Well, it's still that Eco character. It's like that Madam Web character. Her name is Madam Web, and she's.
I hear you.
Is she in the room with us?
I think she is.
I've got to go weave another web. Bye.
The Silent Hill trailer was
Silent Hill 2?
very underwhelming. I was not impressed by it in the least. What did we say? A low end PS4.
It looked like a low-end PS4 game.
Yeah, the facial animation just wasn't there.
There was the Concord trailer, which is a new Overwatch clone.
Gameplay, the cinematic trailer was pretty fun. Little Guardians of the Galaxy-esque. I was down with the characters. I thought it was pretty cool. It was a little lighthearted and funny. And then I found out that it's a 5v5 Overwatch rip, and that could go to the top of a list of called games I don't give a fuck about.
There's a new Alien VR trailer.
I did actually see this.
Never play that. I would never, it would give me a heart attack. I would die.
There's a Dynasty Warriors trailer, that's a Muso style game, right?
Muso, yeah.
Yeah, it looked like something I would only play if it was on Spartacus.
Yeah.
I actually like Muso games. They're mindless, but like sometimes you just want that.
Yeah.
New Monster Hunter trailer.
Yep.
Monster Hunter Wilds looks pretty good.
Never played a Monster Hunter game.
Yeah.
I've always been meaning to, but another game always just kind of trumps it.
They always do. Their iterations have become really good since World back in 2018. And everything has been incrementally getting better and making it a little more accessible because those early Monster Hunter games are just, in my opinion, complete unplayable trash. First one I did was probably Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. And I got into it for a long while, but there ends up being a point where you're just like, I'm just chasing these things down and slashing at them forever until a part breaks off of them, and you can use that to refine materials to like build better armor. They're fun, and especially when you have a group. But Wilds actually looks very different and a little more progressive. And I've bought every single one since World, so I will be buying this.
Yeah. I think you're right, though. State of Play was a little underwhelming.
Yep. Not much going on there.
Yeah. The Astrobot trailer I thought was good.
Definitely the highlight.
Chad Xbox here to talk about your Lord and Savior, the Xbox.
Nice.
Muad'Dib, it's so good. I couldn't get enough of the Xbox. I haven't played it in like a month. I've been playing my PlayStation 5. But yes, Xbox news. The Xbox 360 store will be shutting down. That happens July 29th, meaning potentially hundreds of digital games will disappear, possibly forever, unless you have them downloaded. However, any backwards compatible games at the 360 that also work on the Xbox One, those are fine. Those will carry over. Series X and Series S, those will remain purchasable in the future. A giant sale on 360 games is currently active. Check them out if you want. They're like dirt cheap. So
I don't know.
if you want,
I got Alice Madness Returns. I got Dante's Inferno. I have The Witcher 2.
you're set.
I'm good.
Xbox has shut down 4 studios, including Arcane Austin, creators of Redfall and Prey.
Redfall.
Did you hear that Redfall was working on an offline version for the game up until the moment they got fired? Which was like the one thing people wanted from that game.
Wow.
I read that this morning.
That's good.
Yeah, I love that.
Tango Gameworks, creators of Ghostwire and Hi-Fi Rush.
That sucks.
I just got the new Ghostwire game.
Yep.
Tango Gameworks also made. They also made The Evil Within and The Evil Within 2.
And
love
yeah,
those games.
Those are two of the best survival horror games I've ever
Yes, so
played.
good.
that studios, of course, ran by Shinji Mikami, who was the creator of Resident Evil, director of like Resident Evil 4, someone who's got a track record.
A man who deserves respect.
He posted on Twitter, "Tango closed, sad." And that hurt me a little bit.
Yep.
Alpha Dog Games, who created Mighty Doom and the little-known Roundhouse Studios. Microsoft said to double down on these franchises and invest to build new ones requires us to look across the business to identify the opportunities that are best positioned for success. This reprioritization of titles and resources mean a few teams will be realigned to others and that some of our colleagues will be leaving us. Corporate talk for fuck off. Game Pass coming in June. We got Rolling Hills, Make Sushi, Make Friends, and Firework. Games that arrived in May. If anything jumps out, jump in. Tomb Raider Definitive Edition.
Sure.
Fun game.
Kona 2 Broom. Little Kitty Big City.
I've played some of that.
I would play it. I haven't yet. Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons.
I've wanted to play that for a minute. It's been on my list.
I played that when it came out back in the day. It's fun.
Chance of Sinar. Don't know anything about that.
I hear that one's pretty good.
Immortals of Avidum.
I played a little
Live in
bit
La
of that.
Vida Loca.
Yeah.
A very boring first-person magic shooter.
Haunty E. Galacticare. Moving Out 2. Lords of the Fallen. Humanity. And Senua's Saga Hellblade 2.
Sure.
Which I have downloaded.
Which we will talk about when we get to what we've been playing. But before then, does our Ninfrendo have anything that they need to add? Paper Mario came out, right?
Paper Mario came out. They fixed some bugs that were in the original that speedrunners apparently loved.
I don't like that.
The game itself looks really good. They changed some weird stuff, I guess. They censored a lot more.
Okay.
I guess they were a little more edgy in the first one. I don't know what those are because I'm gonna have a lot of. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna have a lot of trouble going back to the Nintendo Switch right now. Like you have my Steam Deck right now, and that's my preferred handheld.
Yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't it be? It plays great
Until
It
the
looks
Switch 2
fantastic.
comes out.
Well, then yeah. But I don't know. I want to play Thousand Year Door, but I don't know. It's just another old game. I want new games. I want new Paper Mario. I'll play a new Paper Mario game that's in the style of Thousand Year Door, but I played Super Mario RPG.
Nintendo's in its like 90s Disney phase where they are going to reopen the vault and sell a VHS of a beloved title.
You liked Bambi, right?
Remember Bambi?
It's coming out of the vault.
He's
Tell
back.
your parents.
This time in HD remastered with Shia LaBeouf.
Your collection will be incomplete on the VHS shelf if you don't get Bambi.
You will be the laughing stock of the Disney community. You fuckers.
Honey, we have to get to Walmart. Bambi's out.
They might run out, honey.
They might put it back in the vault before we get there.
Leave the shoes. We gotta go. And that's, I don't know. Right now they're just like, all right, we're going to re-release this same game. And they know they'll make money and it's very easy for them. So I get it.
And I'm just tired of it. I hear Princess Peach Showtime is pretty good. I've heard from several sources.
As far as games for children,
yeah.
because it's supposed to be on the much easier side.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I need a challenge or something compelling.
Me personally, yeah. I will play like a platformer that, you know, like if it looks good and it's kind of a fuck around game, I'll play it. but I don't know. Otherwise, Nintendo, they're pretty silent. In June, they are going to have a direct, and I'm going to assume that they'll have some pretty big announcements. So,
Switch 2. Maybe.
I think they're going to save that for September.
It's coming, though.
They don't want to create hype too early.
Let the Switch still make money.
Yeah. It's kind of like how certain like movie studios now, they won't release a trailer until it's like 2 months before it comes out.
Because otherwise
then it keeps up interest.
People die down.
Yeah. So, yeah, I love you, Nintendo, but fucking what are you even doing right now? I imagine that there are going to be a lot of launch games for the Switch 2.
They're holding like a really good hand of Switch 2 games, I have a feeling, and
Yeah.
they're just biding their time.
Otherwise, man, I'm into it.
Say hello to my cute bombs.
What have we been playing?
I'll go first because the list's not very long. Helldivers 2. I still play it like a day or two a week with some buddies. I still love the game. It is really fun.
What level are you at?
I'm like 26, 27 now.
Okay.
Like 50 hours in game mission time.
Yeah.
Close to 20,000 kills. So it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it quite a bit. I've been playing Senua's Hellblade 1.
Senua Sacrifice.
Yeah.
Which I found out today that was Tyler's original pick for Indie Games Month, and I thought he chose Hellblade 2.
Yeah.
So, and you started playing Hellblade 2.
I'm gonna beat it today.
Okay.
How long did it take you?
It's a short game. It's fucking good.
8 to 10 hours.
It's
usually.
Fucking good.
I really enjoy the first one.
Yeah.
I think it's a little boring.
The only thing is I need some fucking headphones for my Xbox.
Take these headphones home.
These ones?
Yeah, dude, I plug mine in right into my Xbox controller, so I just sit
fuck
there.
yeah,
It's
that's a
really
good
nice.
idea.
Yeah, I use my COS.
I've been playing that, and then I did play a little bit of I played a little bit of Mad Max. I was going to go back for the Platinum because I watched Fury Road and Furiosa, and I was like, fuck it. I like the
you
game.
in the mood. Yeah.
Got me in the mood. But then I found out that the Platinum is no longer available because two or three of the trophies are behind an online portion of the game that's no longer active. So
Hate that.
So I put that game down immediately because I've already beaten it once, but I wanted the Platinum. So then I went Platinum hunting.
Where would you put the trophy if you got it?
On my shelf next to my other 4 Platinums.
Nice.
I think I have the same amount. I don't know.
I was on a kick there. Like I did Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah. And then Days Gone and Spider-Man, like back to back to back. And then I was like, no more Platinums for a while. But then I went back and tried to do Shadow. I got Shadow of Mordor. So I was going to get Shadow of War because I missed the Nemesis system. So I dabbled in that a little bit. That game's a lot of fun. The way the Nemesis system works and like trying to recruit orcs to your army. You can get really strategic with it, and I beefed the difficulty up so that it's just stupid, insane hard because I've already beaten the game once.
Yeah.
So going back for the Platinum on that, but that's just a little time waster. Other than that, Polytro, because I don't have a lot of time to be playing games lately, and that's one that I can just flip on and go hard and then go to bed.
It's too easy to just play a quick
It's
round.
too easy.
I did finally get the last Joker. I have gotten now. I've been got at least once every single everything. Which that last Joker, I think it was Perkio, was hiding a long time, but I finally got all of my Balatro Jokers, and that has somehow freed me from the shackles of the game. I feel like I'm allowed to not play it now.
I beat all the main decks and some of the chips, but I didn't. I felt like I got my enjoyment out of it.
To me,
I'll play it still, but
to me, on a car ride, like if there's ever a long car ride, I'm like, I'll just play a few rounds of Balatro.
yeah.
Yeah, that's usually where Hades comes in for me because I got that on the Switch. Yeah. Oh, so good.
Yeah. What I've been playing, I beat Ayuden Chronicle 100 Heroes, and a game with a massive amount of problems, a game with a massive amount of charm, really cool character designs, pretty entertaining story, some batshit baffling design choices, a PS1 game in the modern era. It is faithful if you want to see more Suikoden games. It is such a mixed bag, and I'm ready to talk about it with Indie Games Month when we get there. I want to talk about the Kickstarterification of indie games, and there's a lot. If you like Suikoden, you will enjoy this game. I enjoyed it, and I started playing Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 yesterday, and I can't speak highly enough of the experience with it.
How does it onboard you from the original story? Because I beat the first.
If you want to watch a story recap, you can.
Don't spoil the story.
To me, I didn't really need it. I get that this character has this going on, and you're in a new scenario, and I'm feel fine not knowing the complete story of what happened before.
Is it pretty?
It's gorgeous, and I thought when it said this game is recommended to be played with headphones, I rolled my eyes a little bit, and then I played for 10 minutes. I was like, okay, it's fine. Maybe I didn't find it.
Because it has full 3D audio, right?
Yeah, I didn't find it fully enjoyable or utilized, but about halfway through the game, when you just really sink into all of the voices and the audio experience, I'm like, this is so good. And I really like the story of Hellblade 2.
Hellblade 1 features my head.
Yeah. Dillian.
It's pronounced Dylan, but they got it wrong. I wrote it on the paper wrong.
No, it is powerful, engaging, emotional, aggressive, heavy metal. It's like A24 made a video game.
I love it.
I'm so in.
I'm ready for the second one, and I'm not even done with the first.
Yeah,
It would be hard to go back.
So far, I would say it's a 9 out of 10.
Wow.
Oof.
An 8 or a 9. I'm having a 9 out of 10 experience. I could see people wanting to give it maybe an 8 out of 10, but...
Well, ever since I missed last year with Don't Starve for Indie Games Month, I was like, I got to beef it up this time.
Don't Starve is
You
a good
didn't
game.
miss. It's a fine game.
It's just not my game.
It's very much a Tyler game.
It is.
And we gave it a shot, but for me, I'm just like, oof. Not all of them have to be hits. I mean, Dredge turned out well, but I just chose that off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I had so much fun with Dredge, and it's on Spartacus now, and I think I still have Brad's copy, which might be your copy. I don't know whose copy I got.
I think it's mine. It doesn't matter.
It's Brad's.
Yeah. I'm excited to play Pizza Tower. I have a Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Yep. Waiting to play it.
It's a very good game.
I went to pick it up yesterday, but it hadn't. There was no charge, so I'm like, I don't play Senua Saga instead.
If you don't actually shut the system down, it drains really hard in sleep mode.
I didn't realize that.
It's okay. It just happens. Where do I start? PSVR 2.
Oh my god!
I own one. It's great. It's even hard to talk about. Ask me questions about it. I could field questions.
Is it better for people who get motion sick?
Yes, it is.
So less motion sickness for people who are
4K,
prone to it.
4K resolution. It still has that kind of grain to it, which I think is just kind of what you have to deal with. Because the first one, with the first PlayStation VR, there was that grain, but you couldn't like read things. Say when you were in like a TIE fighter or whatever in Squadrons, you couldn't quite read what was going on the console or the dash, but everything else looked crazy, and it's really good. It has better, smoother motion to it. I would find that when I was playing Resident Evil 7 on the original, I would get motion sickness from time to time, but I spent probably an entire day playing RE8 with this, and I felt no fatigue.
How long did you look at Lady Dimitrescu in VR?
Oh my god, she really puts her boobs in your face. She really does.
But did you also step closer?
I did, and I had to take a look at her. You remember that part where you get your arm cut off?
It's really crazy in VR games, like when they mess with your hand, because you actually can hold your hand up and it's not there in the game. It really blows my mind.
It's kind of funny because I wasn't
it's like
actually
that whole phantom pain thing where
Well, and immediately I'm like, oh shit. And then I was just like, oh. And then, you have to kind of run around. Then you have to grab your arm and it's the whole thing. But I found myself being like, I'll just walk up to Lady Dimitrescu and see what's up. And because if you bait her correctly, she's not going to hit you very hard. And I'm just like, oh, take a look at that. That's great. Whoa. Kind of weird. Resident Evil 8 so far has been the standout. When we played Half-Life Alyx at Tom's place that one time, ages ago. it uses all of that functionality. Like you have to grab certain weapons from your back.
Yeah. Have you heard about
the
this?
trigger grips?
Yeah, when I played the Walking Dead Survivors or whatever,
Yeah.
like you could put stuff in your backpack and like you had to grab where that weapon was on your body.
The way the different guns work that you were explaining to me, Dylan.
Yeah.
Insane.
So let's say like you have the handgun. You have a bag, like a little like bag full of all of your items and ammo and stuff like that. And you have to eject the thing with a button. Then you have to grab from the pack, clip it in, then you have to pull it back. With
You
the
have to
other
actually
controller.
rack it and everything?
You have to rack it. And it's really good. Then what it asks what your dominant eye is. So right for me. When you aim down the sight of it, you'll lose accuracy in game, but the fact that it tracks your eyes, when you start using one eye and you have both hands on the gun, it will increase the accuracy within the game.
That's awesome.
It's so crazy.
That's nuts.
And like you were explaining how the sniper rifle and the shotgun like you have to hold them differently.
So yeah, you have to actually hold it by its base. You can just shoot it willy-nilly if you want to. But the way that the zoom works is it's not like using the analog stick to zoom in and out. You have to just get closer to the scope.
What?
And it will zoom. And then how you do the
bolt?
The bolt, you have to do it. You just
That would be so sick. Just like
It's so cool.
I'd be like the sniper from Saving Private Ryan.
honestly, I felt in the shotguns very interesting. You have to individually load each shell.
And didn't
Oh damn!
So you can be faster than what the game is expecting you. So if you're really good at like doing this really quick, you can be faster. Like the reload stat doesn't make any sense anymore. So don't ever invest if you play it. But
did you get a rocket launcher yet?
I have not gotten it.
I want to know how you have to hold it when you get it.
I'm at Heisenberg's facility. So
Yeah, that was probably my least favorite area in the game.
it's a little boring.
Factory
the
levels
big-
are just kind of repetitive.
I will say the big propeller man, very scary. Maybe my least favorite enemy in the game because I'm like
but what was the most scary? The baby, right?
the baby was rough because I put in because it has 3D audio.
I do not want to see that baby in VR.
Because you have like the audio, full 3D. I had the set on, and I'm sitting there, and my dog brushed against me, and I almost fucking kicked her across. But it's kind of funny too. After a while, once you've baited the baby enough, because you know that part's kind of easy if you just can track which areas it can move to throughout the basement. Mm-hmm. It's just I'm like, well, I started being like, he's kind of cute. Like he has this silly little laugh, like.
That was so good.
It's really good.
I'm really good at voices.
That was scary.
Webb.
I'm Madam Webb.
I'm just the crypt keeper.
Have you seen the movie yet?
No. Okay. I know the spirit of it, though. The other game I've been playing a lot of is Gran Turismo 7, which in VR is astonishing. It's
You know what's crazy to me is that you can use the rear view mirrors and side view mirrors in VR. You can actually just like look and see where things are behind you. That blows my mind.
And if you turn around, you can just look.
you can.
Yeah, you
Which
can do
would be
you can do
crazy.
the Fast and the Furious scene where you look over and you don't look at the road and you keep driving.
Well, you take it for granted when you have the first person in the car like view when you're playing something regularly on a television. When you see it all mapped out and someone had to render each and every interior of every single one of these cars.
Yeah.
Someone had to go through that trouble. And you're sitting in it. And for the first time, I actually said to myself, like, I could get into racing games. Like, I like racing games, and I've played Gran Turismos before, but eventually I fall off. Now it just feels like I'm actually there. So I'm getting a steering wheel. I'm gonna get like pedals.
Oh my god! Then yeah, that would be so fun.
And I'm absolutely 1,000% in because this game is so much fun. They do this really great onboarding with you. The 3D, like the VR aspect of it, only happens when you are in the car. Otherwise, it will look like you're just playing you just see the screen, with the black outlines. Yeah. But then when it hits into the car, you're immediately just in the driver's seat.
How much is the VR2?
500?
550. It's
How much blood can I sell?
and here's
How many
the
times
thing.
can you donate plasma?
I thought when I opened this thing up that I was missing something because when Brad lent me his, there was this whole setup with the PlayStation Eye camera and like the Move controllers and
So many cords in the VR one.
so many fucking cords. This is literally just bloop. You plug it in.
The fact that there's still a cord
That's fine.
It's fine, but it'd be better without it.
It would be better, but the simplicity of this means that also it can stay charged constantly, and they didn't have to add a battery to it, which is my thing because these new
What do you call them?
DualSense?
They're
They're called I don't remember.
like DualSense Move or
Something I always forget. But these things, I would play regular games with them because I was a big fan of the Wii because you could just kind of sit like this and play a video game.
To me, the biggest problem with the VR controllers is that they didn't each have a little analog stick on them because the number of games that would be like Skyrim, I need an analog stick to play that in VR, and the fact that
Resident Evil 7 would.
I will never do the point somewhere and click and jump. That is the dumbest thing.
Yeah.
These things are kind of marvels. They're really good. The way that it tracks everything, the way that it works in tandem is just astonishing to me. Like I was playing even like games where you necessarily wouldn't need these guys and they add some sort of layer to it. And those Move controllers can bite ass. I hate the Move controllers. The lollipops.
Yeah.
Yeah. I played a bevy of stuff. I did play Switchback.
From the Until Dawn Rush of Blood thing.
It's fine. If I had played that before I played Resident Evil 8, I might have been more impressed because the guns feel like toys in this. The shooting, it's just like the bullets move really slow.
Pea shooters.
Little pea shooters. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Have you played Super Hot?
I haven't. Super Hot is not available on the PSVR 2.
Really?
You played Moss 2?
I have not played Moss 2 yet.
Oh, okay.
Me and my wife are going through 1 first.
I fucking love Moss.
It's so good.
It is such a good game, and it's one of those games that it's sad that most people will never get to play it.
It's just marvelous, and it's a shortish game. It's good though.
Quill is one of the best characters that no one knows about.
Wasn't in the character battle, was it?
Yeah,
He was.
I think so.
I think I voted for him.
I don't know.
Her. Sorry. Otherwise, a lot of bits and bobbles. What the Bat is hilarious. If you guys ever come over, the first game I'm making you guys play is What the Bat. It's the guys who made What the Golf and What the Car.
Okay.
Those are also worth playing. I have them on my iPad. But they made this VR experience, and it's using bats as tools to do certain things and solve puzzles, and each of them is like a level. Like, I'm trying to think. There's one where I can't off the top of my head. It's just silly, good time, fun. Anyone can understand it. Then there's like Beat Saber. Beat Saber
is so good.
Love Beat Saber.
With these controllers too, it's 1-for-1. It's like having the Wii Motion Plus in comparison to the Wii Motion controller.
Yeah.
And I did buy a bunch of song packs.
You have to, though. Otherwise, that game gets
They're
stale.
so fucking expensive
Yeah.
for like 7 songs. I'm like, Jesus Christ. But I need Queen, I need the Rolling Stones, and I need Daft Punk. Like
Daft Punk.
Is there an
absolutely.
MCR pack?
I wouldn't be surprised if there was.
I don't know.
Because Tyler will find $550 for a VR2 if there is.
I think I got some change in my couch cushions.
And then No Man's Sky, like I was saying before, that's the only way I think I could have ever gotten into that game. Just the pure immersion that you feel.
Yeah.
And you actually feel like you're on these alien worlds. Otherwise, I have not been playing too much else.
You just list 12 games. I haven't been playing much besides those 12 games.
But you know how it is because when you got the PSVR, I'm certain that you were just like, well, I got to try a bunch of different things. You got to sample all the flavors because it's novel. Mm-hmm. It's not something you get to experience all the time.
It's all new.
It's all new.
Yeah.
And I'm just impressed as hell. I can't wait for PC support so I can play other video games, not just PlayStation games. Mm-hmm. But that's coming later in the year. Apparently, the adapter is already getting approved in Korea.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason I bought it too.
Because you knew you'd be able to use it elsewhere.
Yes, because otherwise, all right, you're not offering me a lot, Sony, but if I can take this to my wife's laptop and we can get a game through Steam and I can just play on that, I'm ready to go.
Doesn't look like there's MCR in Beat Saber.
0 out of 10.
On the Oculus, you can do it. So next up, we are going to be talking about some bombs, some beautiful bombs.
Yep, Nikki Haley signed every one of these.
Yeah.
Games that
Bunch of fucking maniac.
games that weren't well received but still beloved. I have a few off the top of my head.
Well, to me, they were well received but bombed.
but did not make very much money.
Yes, critical darlings that
Yeah.
did not do well
For one reason or
financially.
another.
The first one that came to mind for me was Days Gone, the open world zombie survival game where you play as a biker on a motorcycle.
What's his name? Claude St. James?
I forget his name.
Jason Borkham.
It's one of my.
It was before he became a college football player.
It's one of my platinums. I enjoyed the game thoroughly. The story is a lot longer than I thought it was going to be and super compelling.
It didn't make money.
No, it sold very poorly.
It almost got a sequel, but then they were like, it didn't make enough, so we're cutting it. Which, if you beat the game, there's like another ending if you're doing like the free roam shit that kind of leaves you on a cliffhanger that was super fucking interesting. But to anybody who hasn't played the game,
We gotta go to Las Vegas and fight more zombies.
Mobamba.
to anybody who hasn't played the game, it is definitely worth your time because the horde mechanic with all the zombies, like at first it's like, yeah, this is fun and it's cool to kill the zombies, but late game shit with the massive hordes you get, it almost becomes like a puzzle game because you have to manage the environment. You don't want to get surrounded and you have to move strategically so that you don't get fucked.
Kind of like a Plague Tale.
Yeah, kind of. But like I said, the story's fantastic. The open world does feel a little empty sometimes. There's definitely a lack of animals or like wildlife that could, you know, maybe enrich the environment a little bit. But a lot of diverse characters. There's like different settlements, and there's a whole like it even does the whole like backstory thing because there's a love interest that doesn't feel overly done. It's compelling, gives you something to care about and work towards. I think the main character's name is Deacon.
Deacon St. James.
Yeah, something like that.
And his gun is called the Crucifier.
In the game, you can modify your bike, and I had the BB from Days Gone or from Death Stranding as my gas tank.
That's kind of cute.
No,
Anything with Death Stranding is awesome.
It's great.
yeah, but if you haven't played it, they
Not
have
coming out till 2025.
That's
fine.
They have a bunch of mini games you can do too at the end if you really like the combat, like
Mini games?
like
Challenge modes?
challenge modes.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So if you really like the combat, because that's where the game really shines. I did like just driving around on the motorcycle too, though. Like there's little motorcycle trails you can take and jumps and stuff. It makes it really fun.
I think that's the key, honestly. Do you have that physical?
No, it was. I got it for free
Okay.
before Spartacus existed,
Oh.
and I always wanted to play it, but I heard that it sucked because no one was buying it.
Because it was one of the monthly games.
Yeah,
Okay, I think I got it then.
I got it when I was living in Denver, and I booted it up and started playing it, and immediately from the jump, I was like, "Oh, this is a beefy game for free."
I'm gonna imagine that this kind of boils down to like a branding problem. Because Days Gone, kind of zombies, a little bit like Last of Us, with the same kind of tone and atmosphere. People are just like, "What? What are we?
It
what are we doing?"
just got lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, I mean, it might have anyway. And I think that Devil May Cry 5 came out around that time, so I'm pretty sure that I had zero interest in playing Days Gone.
I had a lot of interest because the trailer came out in like 2013 or something. It got announced. Like it had a development cycle that took a while. And I remember seeing like the cinematics and then the gameplay trailer, and I was like, "This looks fucking dope." And then at first, people were like, I guess it was buggy, but like people did not like it at first. And then it eventually ended up for free. And I think that's where after the bugs were fixed, then it was a refined game. It still has its faults. I mean, like I said, the open world does feel a little empty sometimes, and it does get repetitive towards the end because it is a long game. Especially if you do everything, because I got the platinum, so I was collecting and doing everything I possibly could. By the end, I was still just as into it as I was at the beginning. Cannot recommend it enough. It's a game that I'll probably replay here later this year after Indie Games Month.
Beloved Bombs are tough, man. They're great games that it just sucks that people don't know about them or didn't play them.
Yeah, and especially with the cliffhanger, I don't want to spoil it for anybody because you should play the game. The story is super compelling, and it's got a really good cliffhanger where it made me just like as soon as I saw that, I Googled like Days Gone 2. Where is it at? Is it coming? And I was on the hook for a long time because they were like, well, we might be able to like swing it. And like the game creator was really working hard. And then at one point it got the green light, and then 2 seconds later, they axed it.
To me, when that happens, I just want them to release a 5-part comic book series that can tie up whatever loose ends are there.
Yeah.
Just do something, or like I'll never read a novelization from a video game, but if they did like a little comic book sequel,
That'd be fine.
I'd like that.
Yeah. If it would sell enough to justify
Do you want
publishing.
to go next, or me, Dylan?
Yeah, I had a real affinity GameCube era. It was before I really started getting like Game Informer magazines and kind of being in the know of a lot of this stuff. And I really liked the movie Minority Report by one Steven Spielberg. And
Never heard of him.
He did Alien.
You know, yeah, there you go.
Kind of.
A little bit. And I got basically the tie-in game. It was called Minority Report Everybody Runs.
I remember that game.
That didn't have the license for Tom Cruise.
No,
Yeah.
it didn't have the license for Tom Cruise. And you go, it kind of follows the plot, but not really. But it had it was kind of this isometric, like half top down. You wander around, then you fire like the concussion rifles that they have in that movie, which just feels so fucking good. And I thought it was amazing. And then I got an older issue of Game Informer where they're like, wow, this is real dog shit. And I remember just scratching my head. You know, I think that a lot of these probably occur more when I'm young and not in the know, because I wouldn't find myself trying out a lot of bombs. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like if I got it for free, I don't know. But like that game, when you got nothing else to do and you don't have the internet, it's I was going to find anything interesting. How about you, Brad?
I guess I'll just start at the fucking top. Okami.
Oh, yeah. Whoa, that's a good one.
Never played it.
Yeah, product of Clover Studio with the direction of Hideki Kamiya. You might know them from their work on Resident Evil and Devil May Cry. This came out in 2006 on the PS2. A game couldn't be more beloved. It won Game of the Year, and it has that odd fact that it is the least profitable Game of the Year ever.
Jeez Louise.
A game that is perfect art, that is storytelling, that is just like design. It is so good. And though strongly praised by critics, fewer than 600,000 units were sold by March 2009 in 3 years. Yeah, after release, Clover Studio was disbanded. A lot of its employees went on to Platinum Games and produced Mad World and Bayonetta. They went on to be very successful. But this game just never sold, moved units, and everybody that's played it's like, fucking Okami, man. Okami.
Yeah, even you said so.
I started off slow, but as soon as I put it on the big screen and that music is just... It's truly unique experience and...
Top notch.
A critical,
Firing on all cylinders.
a critical darling that did not make money.
I think a lot of this has to do with like time and place. I think you really got to hit the mark. I think opening weekends for like movies are maybe the most important thing you can ever do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Furiosa.
Rest in peace, Fall Guy. 2 weeks after that movie hit theaters, it was on streaming because it had that bad of an opening weekend. They're like, fuck it.
If they had, if I could pay let's even say $25 to see Furiosa in my home, I would do it. I do not like movie theaters. And
Yeah, I agree.
and this I didn't want to go out to do it, but if you offered me that option, I'm willing to pay the price of 2 movie tickets for me and my wife to watch it at home.
And I think inevitably that's where it's going to end up.
What
Yeah.
you're saying, you don't want to spend $15 for a popcorn, $20 for 2 drinks, and then
Have to deal with a bunch of
$25
people.
for 2 tickets, and then to have somebody on their phone or bring their kids into the theater.
Listen,
Theaters are they're
I
dying, man. I don't think that there's a chance.
When I saw Furiosa, I went with 7 people, and we were the 7 people in the theater. So it was an excellent experience for us, and we had like the dream loungers with like the heated
sure.
seats and like
Yeah.
all that. We spent way too much money. Same thing when I saw Dune. There was like one other person in there.
Theaters are going to
was in a
become
full theater
It's
crowd.
going to be event cinema, where it's just going to be like
It's going to be specialty, yeah.
and there's going to be a lot less movie theaters. I think I can't imagine a business model where it makes sense anymore.
Well, I was even remarking that on
If,
my
if
on my
Furiosa
birthday,
can't make money, then we're fucked.
on my near my birthday, the next Planet of the Apes movie was coming out, and I'm a huge fan of those movies in general.
I haven't seen 2 and 3, but we just watched Rise the other day, and I thought it was great.
You're gonna love War for the Planet of the Apes, the third one,
Yeah.
but you're really gonna love Dawn, which is the next one.
Okay.
In the sequence, I really wanted to see Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, but I cannot justify. I have misophonia. Listening to people chew, it just irrationally I get angry, and I know it. It's autism mostly, but. It's also one of those things where it's like I don't want to sit in a room and listen to people chew loudly during soft scenes. I want to be in it, and my focus just can't hit that. But when I'm at home, I can completely click in.
Yeah.
There's no distractions besides maybe my dog.
And I got to pee. I'll pause.
Exactly.
I will say that there's only been one time that I liked having people in the theaters, and that's when I went to see the movie Mother by Darren Aronofsky, and a bro was explaining to his girlfriend the symbolism in front of me, and I'm like, this is as good as the movie. So this is kind of like, Cain and Abel, like that's the sons. And I'm like, ooh, symbolism.
Bro commentary.
The bro commentary for Darren Aronofsky. I want to just get that on a Blu-ray set.
In Harry Potter 6, I was with my ex, and someone was like, "Hey, that's Dumbledore. He's kind of important. He's like the big time wizard. He's like the best wizard.
That's Dumbledore.
That's Dumbledore." I can't deal with it. I don't like being distracted when I'm doing anything, really. It's like ADD and a bunch of other shit, but
It's too expensive to go to movies. If it's for a potentially subpar experience.
Yeah.
you also can't control the temperature of a movie theater. You got to deal with other people. It's kind of a mixed bag.
I can't bring my cats.
I have to get on the highway to go see a movie.
Yeah.
Like there's not a theater super near me that I want to go to.
Well, you live in Tosa, right?
Yeah, I could go to Mayfair, but like every time I'm in there, there's a bunch of fucking kids. It's a bunch of teenagers.
It's disgusting.
And,
yeah,
I went there.
That AMC is not good news.
I went there for Barbarian, and like it was not a pleasant experience.
No.
Let's just say that.
First of all, they need to police these places better. They need to say like, hey, if you're caught like talking too much, you're actually going to get booted, and we have the right to do that.
Yeah.
Make it more niche. Make it more of an experience for people who are serious about going to these things.
And
Or just watch at home.
a game that I recently played last fall. Also got it for free on Spartacus. Was the Callisto Protocol.
Did that bomb?
It did.
Josh
Duhamel. From the guy. It was from the guy who was at the studio head for Dead Space, and it was supposed to be like the next Dead Space game. It was critically a failure, or financially a failure. Critically, though,
It was like a 6 or 7 out of 10.
yeah,
for most people.
and it's only like a 9 to 12-hour game, but
fine.
it is super atmospheric. It's
Really?
fucking gorgeous. The graphics and everything are super, super nice. I like having Josh Duhamel as the playable character because he's a good actor, and the mocap is fantastic.
I love his work in Michael Bay's Transformers 2007.
Dude.
He really plays that army guy so well.
They're finally doing a Transformers G.I. Joe crossover. I'm so excited.
After the failure of
got,
Rise of the Beasts.
Greater Hemsworth, I think, is going to be in it.
Yes.
Yeah, no,
A greater Hemsworth.
I'm also
Greater
not
and lesser.
excited about that movie. I was joking for the listeners who couldn't tell.
I'm kind of into it.
Yeah, no, Callisto Protocol was a lot of fun. It is very spooky. It nails the horror. It's very linear, which I appreciate. Like, they don't really let you get off the main path too much. The collectibles are cool. Everything about it is really dope. I really, really enjoyed the story. The ending was badass. everything about it I loved, and I would love another Callisto Protocol, and immediately jumped on the subreddit afterwards just to see, like, because I knew it would. I knew
this
it
seems to
didn't
be
do
a
well.
theme of your life, man.
I check out all the subreddits for things I just did.
I kind of do too.
Yeah, Uden Chronicle one, there's a lot of copium happening in there.
Oh yeah, I helped fund this, so now I have to justify it.
Well,
I'm the first guy who I'm disappointed I spent that much money on it.
Yeah.
Just because I did back at a higher rate.
when I really enjoy a game or a movie, and it seems like there's going to be another one because Callisto Protocol is a game that was planning future installments, so you do get a cliffhanger of sorts at the end.
Sure.
I was like, fuck, I want to know what happens next. I would like to see another game in this series and see what they can do, build upon this, because it's a very good base game. The combat is super fucking janky until you get the hang of it, and then when you start getting mobs of like fucking alien shit thrown at you, when you ace that, you feel like you earned it. Like the dodging and the attacking really feels nice. And the game is designed to do a new game plus because you don't get all the upgrades. It's not like at the end of the game you're just like a super soldier.
Okay.
So you really have to like plan your loadout and manage your stats as you're going through the game.
I don't hate that.
Because they don't give you it all in the first playthrough. But yeah, it's a shame that the game didn't do financially well enough to get a sequel, because I thoroughly enjoyed it and would super suggest anybody who likes Dead Space to give it a whirl.
It's intriguing. I would, unless I had really nothing better to do, a lot of this stuff just sounds kind of like it's like water off a duck's back. Like, I don't know.
Which is my favorite phrase.
Water off a duck's back.
It's cool.
Yeah. So
Just that's just water off a duck's back.
I don't know if this technically counts, but based on like series history, Bayonetta 3 did not sell very well.
Okay.
In comparison to the other Bayonetta games.
It's tough when you're on because that's only on a certain system, right?
It's on the Nintendo Switch. Yep. And its exclusivity kind of killed it. What's funny is Bayonetta 2 was out on Wii U in 2014 and then got ported as a double pack for the Switch.
Which I should have bought. I almost bought.
It's worth a lot of money now.
Yeah.
It's hard to find. And 3 is something I was looking forward to for a long, long, long time. I think it was my game of the year 2021 or 2.
I'm not sure.
I don't know. But I really enjoyed it. It's a little weird. Some of the stuff doesn't work, but the combat is fantastic. I don't like playing as the new character. I don't know. I think she's boring. But in
Jason Borkum?
Jason Borkum.
Jason Derulo.
Duhamel.
No, she just kind of looks like a bad character. Turns out she's your daughter. I know you're never going to play these games.
Dude, she's got a daughter?
Bayonetta's got a daughter. Not as hot as you think.
That means she you know what I mean?
Yeah, it turns out the weird reporter guy who's been following you around, she's a time-traveling daughter of yours. Yeah. And his, yeah.
What?
And then the game ends on a cliffhanger.
Is Bayonetta 4 going to happen?
I fucking hope so. I don't know, though.
I should play those games.
Bayonetta 3 is just sublime in how kind of ballsy it is. And like the traversal methods to get through the worlds. You can kind of have like these hybrid forms of these demons that you have. You can actually summon those giant demons and control them with the other stick. It all works kind of, in my opinion, flawlessly. A lot of people gave it shit, though, too. Some places were giving it like 7s out of 10, essentially. And for a lot of people, that's like nail in the coffin immediately. Like, I can't buy this. I can't justify it. I need a perfect game that everyone agrees on. But this game actually rules. I prefer it over the first Bayonetta. So,
But not over Bayonetta 2.
Bayonetta 2 is the peak of what Bayonetta is supposed to be.
Well, in the vein of mature Nintendo titles that failed spectacularly, I got 2 to mention. First one, Conker's Bad Fur Day,
Great
Nintendo
game.
64.
Yeah.
Released March 5th, 2001. It was the highest selling mature rated video game the first month of its release. Its website garnered 300,000 unique visitors the first 2 weeks.
That's a lot for the time.
Didn't make money, though.
No.
Selling only about 55,000 copies the first month of release.
That game is so weird though too. It pretends it wants to be kind of like a Banjo-Kazooie.
It started off not being a mature, ridiculous title. That's how Conquer was designed, and then they just realized that this is boring and we need to do something to make it fun and weird. It's of its time. There's going to be a lot of references to movies and stuff of that era, which
Saving Private Ryan,
The Matrix.
Yeah. Well, what's funny about it too is it ends up being more of an adventure game and less of a platformer.
Yeah.
There's a lot of gathering dumb items to try and solve puzzles, and that's kind of where I fell off within it because I was enjoying what the platforming was because it's Rare.
Yeah.
And Rare usually does a killer platformer.
It's the comedy that really works in that game for me. At least it did. It's been a while. When Conker's just drunk and like peeing on stuff, that's funny. It's funny. It's a cute little
I agree.
platformy mascot, and he's being vulgar and swearing and dirty jokes.
Right.
Into all of that. Another one that didn't do well, we got Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem.
I own that. That game was lauded for its like progressiveness.
Still a bomb.
Yeah.
Received a near universal critical acclaim upon its release. Aggregated review scores of about 9 out of 10. Like, it did fantastic critically. It received Editor's Choice Awards at IGN. Simply put, an amazing achievement. It was described and reviewed amazingly high. Sold less than 500,000 copies worldwide.
It's because it's a GameCube exclusive.
It's because it's a mature GameCube exclusive.
Resident Evil did great though.
Resident Evil was the outlier though.
Yeah.
And it tried to pull a lot of weight into that market for GameCube, which it never was able to. In Japan, the game has sold 17,748 copies.
What the fuck?
In Canada, 20,000. Like, for a game that whenever someone's talked about it, they're like, fucking yeah, Eternal Darkness. That's the game.
It fucked me up as a kid, yeah.
And it's sad. And I think
Silicon Knights made that.
I think it's just one of those games, too, that if you missed it at the time, I don't know if it would hold up as much anymore.
It doesn't.
And that's sad.
I even played it probably 10 years after the fact on my Wii.
Yeah.
And I was just like, and I was playing on a CRT television at the time.
Yeah.
Still. And I was kind of like, it's a little lost on me. Some of it really works, and some of it is absolutely just dumb and boring. Mm-hmm. The story is interesting. It's about reviving old gods and finding immortality and
Insanity.
yeah.
I'm into it.
Yeah, it's great. Especially playing as the main character. I forget what her name is.
I'm not going to say it again.
Mm-hmm.
Jason Barkham.
On the PlayStation 2, really enjoyed the Warriors game based off of the 1970s film. And that one was very critically acclaimed. It got like 7s and 8s across the board.
That's not critically acclaimed.
Well, it is beloved in the subreddit that I follow.
Well, it's it's beloved by you.
Yes.
Yes.
Super fun beat 'em up game. I also am a big fan of the movie. I own that bitch on Blu-ray.
I've never seen it.
It's really good.
I know the guy clanks bottles with his fingers.
Yeah, Warriors come out to play.
Yeah.
It is a really cool game that did not. I guess it sold okay, but there was plans for a sequel that got scrapped.
It's such a weird concept. A movie that most people that are with a PS2 at the time will not be super familiar with at all.
Yeah, because the movie came out in like
70s.
74 maybe.
So it's interesting. They're like,
76.
this is what we're doing.
And it was made by Rockstar.
Yeah.
But it had like this really cool graffiti concept where like you had to cover up the other gang's graffiti, and then the fighting was fucking awesome. Like I would love to play it again to see if it holds up. But I remember I rented it from Family Video, and I kept it for like 3 weeks. Like I did like a 5-day rental, and I was like, this is my game now. Maybe I just never go back to Family Video. That's where my head was at. And then my mom's like, do you still have that fucking game? And I was like, nah, I do.
Whoops.
That one is pretty high on my list. And then obviously Mad Max, the 2015 game, did not make a lot of money. But that game is super fun because it's set in the Mad Max world, which I'm a big fan of. I know George Miller's not the biggest fan of it. It's essentially just like an Arkham game with the combat style.
George Miller's a very old man. Do you think he can even play video games well?
He knows who Kojima is. But the game has...
Because Kojima probably like tickled his nuts a little bit and said, "I love the Mad Max movies."
Kojima did like 4 or 5 posts about Furiosa, which I was sitting there like, okay,
Yeah,
he really likes this
Yeah.
one.
Well, it's a great movie.
Because if he posts just one picture of the poster of Madam Web and it says "Watch this," you know that's a bad review. But he'll say everything he's seen. But if he posts multiple things, that is a big review.
Yeah, and the game was a lot of fun. You got to level up Max, and like you got your leather jacket that you could upgrade that like increases his defense, and you could put like these brass knuckle things on.
does it have a big carp on it? Because I ain't interested.
No, it doesn't.
Son of a bitch.
The car combat is
0 out of 10.
super fun.
I played the game. I have, yeah.
It's so much fun.
I didn't get too far into it because I think this was like a PlayStation Plus freebie, and I found the early tutorials to be a little insufferable.
It does take a long time to get into the game.
I want to. I'm like, I really just want to drive across the fucking wasteland.
We should talk about tutorials sometimes.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Yeah.
Expectations, the best and the worst.
Oh, that would be a good topic.
Yeah.
Playing as Max, though, is a lot of fun. Like, I grew up watching the Mad Max movies. I'm obviously a big fan of them. And so getting to play as, like, an obscure character that, like, not all my friends really knew about. Like, I have a lot of friends who are like, who the fuck's Mad Max?
That's fucking crazy to me.
Yeah, well, this was coming out about the time as Fury Road, and people didn't go back and watch the Mel Gibson ones. And I used to rent those from Family Video all the time because my mom
Great
didn't
thing.
buy 'em.
That's the great thing about that movie. You don't need to see the other ones in order
Yep.
to understand this.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like essentially an Arkham style combat game with an open world concept where you get to upgrade your car.
You get to throw canisters of gasoline and then shoot them.
Yeah, you light them up and just fucking they blow stuff up. It was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed the few hours that I played in it. But having already beat it and not getting the platinum, I was like, I got to put this back down. Plus, Indie Games Month coming up, I can't really afford to delve into a big, 45-hour to maybe 55-hour ordeal with all these trophies.
Nice. My final choice is going to be Jet Force Gemini. Game release.
Jet Force Gemini.
An N64 game.
Oh, yeah.
Made by Rare, which we were just talking about. It did not sell all that well, and I was obsessed with it. I remember playing it in probably like an EB Games as a demo, and I was just like, it's got spaceships, it's got little Ewok like characters, and
Funny,
it's got
they're funny sized.
and it's kind of this kind of fun, interesting third person shooter. I would draw a lot of the characters from that, and I thought it was just so like slick and interesting looking. And whenever I talk to people about it, most people really don't understand what it is. And I'm guessing it's just branding. I'm guessing it's just not really what a Nintendo game is supposed to be. And I'm guessing that's why it flopped.
Yeah. The 64 didn't perform as well as they would have liked.
Yeah, like the whole game itself is pretty interesting. It's level based, but you can choose which of the 3 characters to be. You can be a dog with a gun turret mounted on his back,
And a jetpack? No.
There are jetpack portions.
Okay. I remember playing it at my friend's house.
I forget the names of the main characters though. I know the dog's name is Lupus. So,
Yeah, very Latin.
and that was also my favorite. That was definitely my favorite character to play as.
My final 6 choices. Shenmue.
Oh, is that the game where you punch a tree?
Sure.
Rio.
I've never played a Shenmue.
I've played Shenmue.
Is that the game where you punch the tree?
I think. I don't know.
You play as a Japanese guy, and the guy on the
Yeah.
motorcycle rolls up at the
And you
beginning.
go
or the girl.
like ask people questions and you try
I
and solve a
fucking
crime.
love that game. I did not understand shit about it, and I rented it so many times.
Basically a life sim.
I know, and it was like maybe the first one I ever played, and me and my buddy forgot what it was called when we were in college. We're like, what is that fucking game where you punch the tree? And you just walked around, you drove a forklift, you had to go get a job.
That's
Yep.
Shenmue 2.
The first,
So good.
The first and second entry costs $47 million and $70 million in development and marketing. Sales for the first game were a little over 1 million copies, likely due to it being on the Dreamcast. The second entry was never even sold in North America on its original system. Kickstarter
Xbox
campaign
it came out on.
Yeah.
Kickstarter campaign for the third one happened, and that didn't really Wasn't a success either.
They made it.
Beyond Good and Evil. Critically acclaimed and planned as part of a trilogy for the GameCube.
That game rules.
Yep. Major failure. Sequels were canceled. A little game called Earthbound.
Yes.
Second installment in the Mother series. Sold 518,000 units in Japan, making it the 10th best-selling game of 1994 in Japan. However, they spent $2 million on the marketing in America, and it sold around 140,000 copies.
It's a fucking shame because some of that marketing, I wish I could get some of those posters because they look astonishing. They would make little claymation like puppets of them, and then it kind of just looks like a 3D version of them, and they would just take pictures and like little dioramas.
Yeah.
It was absolutely gorgeous. And
the magazine ad said, "This game stinks." Man, not a great choice.
That game rules. It's very near and dear to my heart. I thought at one time I was going to get a tattoo of the 4 main characters like walking in like profile, just as an arm
like
tattoo.
Abbey Road,
pretty much. Yeah,
yeah.
A lot of Beatles ripoff songs in that game.
As a result, Mother 3 never came to America. Mario and Luigi Inside Bowser plus Bowser Jr.'s Journey. After the success of the previous remake, they did another one. Upon release in 2019, the game was a commercial failure, selling under 9,500 copies in its first week.
People were done with the 3DS.
A lifetime total of 34,523 copies for a for a Mario game on a Nintendo system.
Yeah.
It's one of the worst selling Mario games since the Virtual Boy.
Whoa.
Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. People were upset there were no X-Men and Fantastic Four. They didn't buy it. They didn't play it.
It's fair enough, and I hear the game just made everyone look awful. So
Chun-Li didn't look great.
No.
Psychonauts.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
That'll be my last one. Yeah, sold fewer than 100,000 copies during its initial release, led to troubles at publisher Majesco Entertainment, including the resignation of its CEO and the plummeting of the company's stock, prompting a class action lawsuit by the company's stakeholders.
Wow.
At the time of its release, the game was considered the poster child for failures in innovative games. It's been blamed on its lack of marketing. The creator of Psychonauts, Tim Schafer, has a cult following due to his unique and eccentric style. It has since become a cult fucking classic, and people are crazy about it.
Psychonauts 2, probably one of my best games of that particular year. I think it was 2021. Psychonauts 2 like ramps up everything about that first one that you loved, and they make it a little more accessible. I would argue that it's one of the best. It's in my top 10 platformers, probably.
Yeah.
It's good shit.
The last one that I just remembered, I had to look up to see how much money it made, and I couldn't find it in time. But Stubbs, the zombie rebel without a pulse.
Rebel without a pulse.
On the Xbox?
Yeah.
Great name.
You know, they re-released that in modern
I just
hardware.
found that out.
You just found that out?
Just found that out. Because I was like sitting here thinking, like, what was that zombie game I played a shit ton on my buddy's Xbox? And it was Stubbs.
Stubbs is pretty good.
Yeah, I really liked that game. I don't remember much about it. I just remember the cannibal aspect of it that was picked up by the news that my mom heard about. And she's like, you shouldn't play that game. And I was like, I'm totally not playing that game. And then I went to Max's house and I was like, should we go rent Stubbs? And we did.
I mean, that a lot of this stuff is
nostalgic.
A lot of these games are kind of ahead of their time. And I think that's like the biggest issue is that you got to really like pull people on the ship. You got to be like, hey, listen, you know, at first you're going to think this is weird. Just give it a shot. See how it works.
It's hard to market them. I mean, when you are ahead of your time, how do you say, check this out in comparison to this? Or it's like that. Mm-hmm. Okami. Fuck, man. Should have been huge.
It should have been massive. Especially when this is when anime was really popping off in the States. You would have thought that this thing would have sold like gangbusters.
I just see it. I'm like, oh, it's like a dog game and it's cell shaded. Not for me. I'm going to go play Halo. Duh.
Which is so much better. It's not.
Cortana.
Snores.
I was at a buddy's house last night and he had a 2007 unopened Mountain Dew Game Fuel.
Unopened. Wow.
Yeah.
It's a real collector.
It is.
I bet it's fermented quite nicely.
It might be alcoholic.
Probably. You're going to have to, you're going to have to sift out all the impurities, but,
There's nothing impure about Halo. Except my thoughts on Cortana.
Ooh la la. You could say he's all in on blue.
More like Master Queef. Sorry.
I'm finding out a lot about your specific fetishes today.
It rhymed. Oh, do we have a one for the road?
Oh yeah, one for the road. My one for the road is gonna be Furiosa. Go see it. Absolutely check it out. I cannot believe how much I enjoyed it. Specifically, Chris Hemsworth's portrayal as Demantis.
Dementis.
Yeah, but in the movie, I want to talk to Demantis.
Oh, okay.
So I thought his name was the Mantis at the beginning because the dude was like, I want to talk to Demantis. And then it turned out to I just naturally said Demantis. His portrayal gotta be, I'm not saying it's as good as, but I'm putting it in personally my same category as Heath Ledger's Joker for enjoyable movie villain to watch.
That's a really tall comparison, and I appreciate that.
And I'm not saying he's as good as Heath Ledger because obviously that is like a once in a lifetime performance.
It's like Tommy Lee Jones Two-Face levels.
Yes. No, but he knocks it out of the park, and it's just such a good movie. Every time he wasn't on screen, I was like, just put him back on screen. He's fucking hilarious. He makes a Morton Joe look like a normal dude, which is tough to do.
Wow.
But no, it's a super good movie, and I gushed over it all episode. But you should definitely check it out. Hopefully, they make the Wasteland movie next with Tom Hardy.
How about you, Bradley?
I'll say Fall Guy. If you're a fan of stunts,
Sure.
of badass explosions, of cool fight scenes, of a charming story about a stuntman and a director, this movie fires on all cylinders. It's a shame that it's bombed. It's beloved.
It's beloved in your eyes.
Yeah. And you can stream it at home now, which is great.
Is it just on HBO?
It's available for purchase on streaming.
Okay.
It's not like if you have a service, you get it.
Yeah, it's still fresh
it's
enough.
still really new, but the stunts are awesome. Ryan Gosling is one of those actors that he can pull off action and badass and humor. He's, quadruple threat. Check out Fall Guy. I really enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would.
I'm having a lot of trouble here. I would say the manga Vagabond.
Okay.
Off the top of my head, I have been collecting this for a while now. They have these things called the Viz Big editions, and they're like 3 volumes, kind of compacted into one, and they've become super hard to find, like the specific numbers that I need, the specific volumes. And I've made a deal with myself that I can only read them if I find them out in the wild. And I'm up to probably volume 7, and that's quite a bit. That's about this many pages if you put them all together.
That's a lot of pages. It
gets way bigger.
That was about 18 inches you had your hand spread.
Well, my Berserk is like this now. It's, I would say, probably about 4 feet long.
That's half a Dylan in length.
Pretty much. Because I am 8 feet tall. Oh, thanks. But Vagabond is really great. It's this kind of telling of the rise of Miyamoto Musashi. And it's expertly and absolutely paneled the best. Like it's transcendent. It's really good. The art is fantastic. You can tell why this guy really just wanted to tell this one story because he's been doing it forever. And it works on so many levels. I'm really surprised there's not a show of this since it's been going for so long. But I have a feeling he's pretty protective of his shit. And it's highly regarded. It's up there with Berserk for a lot of people. I totally agree.
High praise.
It's right up there. Expression, action, movements, everything is readable. It almost has this, because Akira Toriyama, in my opinion, was very good at moving panel to panel to show how gestures of characters would move to the next panel to tell you how to read it. This is about the same thing. That's
the thing that I don't read a lot of manga. I've been doing the Elden Ring one.
Sure.
And there's moments where I'm like, what panel do I jump to next?
Right.
It's usually pretty well telegraphed, but sometimes I'm also not sure.
Especially if you're reading it backwards.
Yeah.
You're just not used to it.
Oh, you're supposed to go back to front.
Are you actually being serious? I was gonna slap you, probably.
I have all my Suikoden manga there. I've read all of
Yeah,
those.
it's true. And it's just a different style of language, and especially in storytelling. And you can sit with things a little longer, and you get to choose your own pace. But Vagabond is just one of those things where it's expertly written. Everything is kind of graphed out for you. Usually they center around arcs of Musashi facing down an opponent who fights in a different style. And then it's him training to be better and figuring out how he can like kill them, essentially. It's great.
I'm in.
It's really good.
And the Dogcast, One for the Road, just as a whole podcast, is Madam Web.
Yeah.
Again.
Did you call my name?
And I'm Andrew Garfield.
I saw a still from that movie and I'm just like, whoa, the spider people in the Amazon or whatever?
She holds a Pepsi like 10 times and doesn't open it.
Love it. Well, everybody, thank you for listening. Hair of the Dogcast exists because of people like you. If you have any questions, thoughts, concerns, you want to tell us about your favorite beloved bombs, or you want to correct me because I named a bomb that's not a bomb, you can reach out to us on Instagram at Hair of the Dogcast, or on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, at Hot Dogcast. You can also email us at hairofthedogcast@gmail.com. And if you want a bunch of bonus shit and you want to be in a really cool Discord and like say you like Elden Ring, we got a podcast for you called Elden Dogs with a whole bunch of episodes. We got Popcorn Dogs.
Never heard.
We got a bunch of shit that you can listen to, a bunch of bonus content over on Patreon. So get on there.
Patreon.com/Hair of the Dogcast. The best value on the internet is what people say.
Have yourself a free trial.
It's
If you like it.
It's almost not a beloved bomb, and it's just beloved. So
Yes.
that's perfect. Almost there.
Hop on there. Get on our Discord. You can yell at us in there. That'd be great. Love that.
I wouldn't encourage that, but sure.
Very special thanks to our executive producers, Ryan Christinek, Kipper, Brian Ward, Jordan Hoff, Phil Wright, Phil Cole Del Gardino, Bryant Ross, Kelly Gutowski, and my sweet baby brother, J-Man Jammer, Justin Melly. Mm-hmm. Thank you guys so much.
J-Man Jammer.
Yeah, that was what I used to call him when he was a kid.
Okay, I will only refer to him as that from now on.
Perfect.
Thank you so much to our executive producers, and thanks for listening, and we will catch you on the flip.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.